Hey friends, I just wanted to take a quick moment to ask if you could check out the Blood Donut Studios Patreon. There's no obligation, of course, but if you're a fan of what we do, you can get all kinds of fun things like Star Trek commentaries, early access to our Star Trek reviews, extra bits of fresh-faced comics, and your name in the description of every Blood Donut video. That'll all be linked below. Thank you for your time. On with the show. Hello and welcome to Fresh Face Comics, the comic book podcast where a lifelong comic book reader guides his friend through the world of comics for the first time. My name is Joey Morgan, the aforementioned lifelong reader. With me as always is Jacob Licklider, the aforementioned newbie.
Will you believe it, true believers? This time we have our good old web-slinging hero be written as a total psychopath until I got in a big fight with good old Stevie Ditko and gave him the boot.
That's so true. That's actually so true. Because today we are returning to Marvel Comics on Fresh Face Comics. We're going to our fourth Marvel block now. Our longest one yet, 15 episodes straight. The first 15 episodes of our post-episode 100 life we spent with Marvel. Today we're talking about the Amazing Spider-Man Marvel Masterworks Volume 4. This is the end of the Steve Ditko stuff, plus the first two issues of the John Romita stuff, which is very exciting. So I guess kind of jumping right into it, Jacob, in our non-spoiler section first, what is the Amazing Spider-Man Marvel Masterworks Volume 4 about?
Not a lot. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's be honest. I'm just going to say this volume is saved by the last two issues, being genuinely fantastic. This is an important historical artifact, because if you'd like to see the working relationship deteriorate between Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, it starts happening in Volume 3, but by
then you can really tell when it's happening in this one.
I have a hypothesis. So this is issues 31 through 40, 10 issues. At least 4 of these issues have the same plot. Then
you can really tell they've really run out of steam when you actually start hitting Silver Age Spider-Man villains that you've never heard of before.
I was going to say villains you never heard of.
Like the thing with Silver Age Spider-Man villains is normally it's like returns of villains that you've seen before, or like the first appearances of really important Spider-Man characters that you know and love from other media. But then the Looter comes out of nowhere, and that's. Yeah, it's rough.
It's a guy.
It's a guy who steals
also
things.
You don't understand how bad of a character Peter Parker just becomes in these issues. He gets so he's. It's not so much that he's become static. He has regressed to pre-Volume 2 levels of dickery. And it just gets worse. We are gonna have a lot to talk about. I think we can also probably have some conversations about Steve Ditko's politics and spoilers, as well as the way Steve Ditko, and I'm specifying Ditko because I'm not gonna say Stan Lee was some super feminist progressive writer. Stan Lee can be a bit sexist. Let's be fair.
A little bit is an understatement.
Fine. Stan Lee can be sexist. He can.
Yeah.
He definitely writes a lot of women to be objectified in some way. Or just, even if it's as simple as an object of desire, first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Ditko writes like an incel who's never talked to a woman.
Oh, yeah.
So it gets worse. There's some stuff. I don't know how much I can say about characters who were introduced in this volume.
I mean, considering it happens in literally the first issue that we're covering today.
Gwen Stacy is introduced here.
As is Harry Osborn.
They are nothing under Ditko. Both of them are nothing characters.
Yeah.
Harry
and I think it will be worth noting right now at the top of the episode that you are, because of recording schedules, you are currently reading ahead into our next episode, which is Volume 5 of Amazing Spider-Man. And I think you're already really seeing the difference because you're really into the Romita era then. There are changes. We're not going to talk about it too much right now, but it is worth noting that
here's the thing. You'd be surprised. I have the issues I have the most notes for are 39 and 40. stuff actually happens. Characters are allowed to be characters. It's a whole thing. Like, I totally understand why when publishing the Masterworks, they wanted to keep this last two-parter here, because they didn't...
There are a couple really solid ones that open the volume. It's like this first... It's a 3-part arc at the start here. And like they're actually they're solid enough.
They're solid. I wouldn't say they're great. Like, it's solid. It's a little... It's fine mostly, but then you get issues 34 to 38, and they are a slog.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, definitely. But
and you can tell. Here's the thing: you can tell that Ditko was off the book at 36, like, based on the covers, because the cover is usually the last thing that happens that comes in the book. And they just start doing like covers where it's just panels from the book, and it's like, oh, this working relationship has totally fallen apart. Then we have given it to John Romita, who is going to come in, save me, John Romita. You are our only hope, sadly. Honestly, if it didn't have the John Romita issues, this would be probably the first Marvel book that I would say that we've podcast that is actively... No, second Marvel book. Civil War fucking sucks.
I was gonna say.
I forgot Civil War. I memery hold Civil War.
Civil War from your mind, yeah.
I memory hold that thing, and that was only a couple of months ago. Indeed. Yeah, this would be considered for just an outright bad book, like, because of how bad that middle is. But the first 3 issues are solid enough, and then the last 2 actually start to move us into an actual direction. And like feels genuinely like a breath of fresh air. Like,
yeah, totally. Shall we get into some Blue Sky questions?
Yes, because we have some questions.
Yeah, getting into some Blue Sky questions. First off, if you want to participate in Q&As when we record episodes, go over to our Blue Skies. I am at JomoBloodDonut.BlueSky.social, and Jacob is, I'm pretty sure you're just Newt5996 at BlueSky.social. Follow us there. Also follow our link trees. Find all our socials down there. More promotions on that later, I'm sure. But yeah, Q&As. Here we go. Let's start off with a bit. We have a lot. We have a lot of
the bit. The bit has evolved. A little bit too.
I really... Okay, so actually, I'm going to save a certain one for last. So first off, Jamie at Jamie-Season 7 posts just a guy named Joe ? With a picture of Joe Grant from Doctor Who, which Jamie openly admits not my best one.
I mean, it also isn't Steve Ditko's best. I'd argue it's Steve Ditko's worst.
Very possible.
We're going to talk about politics in that one.
We also have Rose Panda at Joey can read this submission with Spider-Man ? Which with what looks like Grover dressed as Spider-Man, which I love that one.
I love this one.
Yeah. We have Jamie's also submits a Spider-Man ? With, is that from
Planet of the Spiders? Yeah, it's Lupton. It's Lupton with...
Thank you. Planet, just typing a message on Perfect Fan. Planet of the Spiders is a story I have not seen a lot. So, Jamie also submits the final chapter ?
I'm ignoring you, Jamie, for reminding me the reality war exists.
The picture of Billy Piper as the 16th Doctor from the
No. It's introducing Billy Piper.
Just Billy Piper.
It's badly photoshopped onto Shurigatwa's body. Like,
and now apparently we're also delving into Always Sunny territory with a bit. As Kian...
Here's the thing. In between recordings, pilot of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia on a whim.
Oh, did you really?
I did. I don't think I told anyone about this. So
you did.
What the fuck, guys?
Jacob? You're finally watching Peak.
It was quite funny. I could write an essay on how it uses edgy humor in an interesting way, and like you can kind of tell that it is coming from a place of love. I literally just watched the pilot on a whim.
Oh! So you watched probably the worst episode of Always Sunny, no less.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's if for nothing else, I don't think there's a truly bad episode of Always Sunny, but it's like, it's one of those, like, it because the rest of the material is so strong, like it's probably the weakest.
Okay, good to know.
Kian at Kian the Quark submits Spider-Man ? With, of course, Frank Reynolds dressed as Spider-Man. We have Kian also submitting Craven question mark with Frank Reynolds in a cheetah outfit. And then God, I watched these notifications come in one right after the other today. Kian and Jamie both submitted at the same time the same picture of Charlie Day as Green Man in Always Sunny. With the question Green Goblin question mark at the same time, to which Kian immediately replied, yeah, we really just start coordinating on the bit. It is funny that they both submitted at the same time.
And this conversation just kind of keeps going. Yeah, I love how I managed to post at exactly the same time. Well, no, mine was early because I'm not on slow Welsh infrastructure. Bro thinks I'm Welsh. Bro won't admit he's Welsh. Jamie isn't Welsh.
I'm surprised they haven't coordinated yet on
honestly, yeah, like you two get on it.
Yeah. God, then we have other questions, if you can believe it. Rose Panda also submits, quick, rank the animated Spider-Man, at least the ones you have seen. This is where Rose Panda is going to get mad at me.
Yeah, at the top, Christopher Daniel Barnes. At the bottom, Christopher Daniel Barnes. wait.
That is the one from the 90s show, right?
Yeah, it's a 90s show. Yeah, that's the only like animated Peter Parker.
That's the only one that I've watched extensively.
Okay, Miles Morales is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And
I guess Into the Spider-Verse also counts.
Fine, because I can't. So if we're being serious, the Spider-Verse movies, and then Christopher Daniel Barnes is like the smattering of that I have seen.
Yeah. I will also say I've watched What If, and I always remember thinking that the guy that plays Spider-Man in What If is a better Spider-Man than Tom Holland, despite supposedly playing the same version of the character. But
fascinating.
He's really good. Honestly, I have not watched that many animated Spider-Man, and I probably should. I know there's that one that people adore, Spectacular. I've never done that, and I
think our viewers have to remember that Joey is a DC guy. I'm
a DC guy, but there are very specific parts of Marvel that I really did grow up on extensively. But like, if it's not within that wheelhouse, then it's very much outside of my purview. But let's see. Jamie submits, kind of wild how the first few issues are some of the strongest stuff from the Lee Ditko era, and then you get the Looter issue. I don't know if it's
I disagree.
The strongest. It's good. It's certainly good. I think it is kind of playing on what I'm eventually going to say, and we'll talk about this in a later question. What I'll say, I decided is my actual favorite Ditko era story. It's kind of a play on that. We'll talk about that soon. Actually, I'll just bring up that question now. Andrew Doing Art, at Andrew Doing Art, our friend Andrew says, do you think Steve Ditko's art improved over the course of his run? Not really, I don't think. Maybe he refined himself a little more.
Here's the thing. Ditko's a good artist.
Yeah.
But he's very regimented in terms of like panel structure.
He's good at one very particular thing.
He's great at horror. He can do horrific stuff, but this isn't exactly a comic book with a whole lot of horror.
That's horrific in a different way.
Yeah.
Overall, not a huge improvement, but I mean, I guess you can maybe notice some things. I don't know. Andrew also says, now that the Ditko run is over, are there any stories that stood out to you in a positive way? Are there any that stand out as especially bad? And I was thinking, when I started thinking on this question, when I saw it today, that I thought, thinking back on it, my favorite Ditko era story is probably that second Doc Ock one, that two-parter.
I like that. That is where like it hits it out of the park. Like,
yeah,
it's a
really good one. 11 and 12 or 12 and 13, something like that.
I think it's right around 11 and 12.
It's the one.
Yeah, it's 11 and 12. It's 11 and 12 because it's what opens volume 2. I will also give a shout to issue 6, which is
the Lizard one. Yes.
Yeah. Lizards. They have a solid character there.
There's actually a great Lizard story coming up for you in volume 5 that I think you'll be really into. But yeah, I think those are probably the strongest from the Ditko stuff. I do also really like, can't think of what issues it is, but that Green Goblin one with Human Torch in it. I can't think of what issues they are now.
Is it 21?
Maybe. I'm
no, that one's the Beetle. That's the.
So it's the one where Goblin tries to like auction off Spider-Man to all the gangsters and shit. I can't think. 27. That's it.
27. Yeah,
that one's really good. I'm a big fan
it's
of that.
fascinating that there are like some. You can kind of the thing about this run is you can tell, and it happens. I'd argue it happens right after issue 20, where Lee really starts to take a step back, and it starts to just slowly fall, like on Ditko's shoulders, and Ditko has clearly gotten into the philosophy of Ayn Rand really hard, and Peter becomes so much worse, and
I think. And on that Doc Ock story we're mentioning before, like I think going back to those first couple issues of this volume that we're about to cover, I think like those hits from like that Doc Ock story are kind of replayed in the early parts of this volume. It's not a bad story, but you're just kind of like watching a slightly like less great version of a story you love, you know,
a much less interesting version. Like it's less interesting.
Truly the Sea Devils of of Spider-Man comics.
That's unfair. The Sea Devils at least has, the charm of John Pertwee and Roger Delgado.
Yeah.
This doesn't.
And then in the second half of Andrew's question, anything that stands out as especially bad, pretty much just this volume. Like
this volume especially. Issue 38 is... I mean, I think issue 38, just a guy named Joe, is just awful.
Yeah.
Also, like, Ditko tries to create some more supervillains, and they don't stick.
No,
they don't stick. Like, it's so weird how it just sort of happens.
Yeah.
You can also.
Go ahead.
Sorry. You can also see, like, I don't think Steve Ditko likes to write a supporting cast. Like,
and Stan Lee like wants other characters for Peter to work off of.
Mainly because Stan Lee understands you need other characters.
Yeah, like even like Iron Man, like classic Stan Lee Iron Man, still has like the support group of Happy and Pepper, you know, and it works. It's good stuff. But anyway, Andrew also says insert obligatory joke about wanting to cover the Clone Saga here. Insert obligatory reply from me, stating no.
Give it like a decade, and maybe we'll get to it.
Let's see, what else do we got? We've got Kian, who says, when are you going to read Life Story? To which Jamie says, it starts around this era, right? So I think they should make it episode 105. Exactly, it's the perfect time. However, I think they might also be thinking of Spider-Man Blue, which starts specifically around this time here, and throughout the next volume. So, Life Story does as well, but Life Story covers a much wider period of Peter's life, and Blue is more specifically like the earlier Muta stuff. So, I think that's actually it for questions. I'm pretty sure.
I think so. That's it for questions.
Yeah. However, we do have a lot of things to talk about on Fresh Face Correspondence today. We have a lot of things for Fresh Face Correspondence. It is the part of the show where we read out comments that you submit to us anywhere and everywhere. Be it on YouTube.
It's basically our letters pages.
Yeah. Any comments on YouTube, on Fresh Face One Shots, Fresh Face Comics on YouTube, Spotify, our Patreon as well. If you join our Patreon and you post comments on there, we'll read them out here as well. So, and if you don't want anything, of course, read out, just let us know that you don't want it read out. But otherwise, we're going to read things out. So, let's see, from Spotify, let's see, back on our Super Rant episode, back on our bonus episode for that, from our friend Rachel, says, I love the engineer. I'm genuinely shocked y'all seem to think she didn't have an impact. Maybe I'm just too sapphic, but I thought she was a pretty damn good and impactful secondary villain. Interesting. I don't know. I don't think she did much for me in it. I don't know. Yeah. On our comments from our episode 100, our Batman Spectacular, Marcus says, to the non-DC Marvel block proposal, lore Olympus.
Maybe. I don't know.
But also that block is a long ways away, Marcus. So, Jamie comments on Spotify. The Five Doctors bit was in fact because it was a cameo from Jamie, and this episode had me in it for a few seconds. I need to know why I decided to sort of whisper my bit there. What was with me from a few weeks ago thinking? Oh, and once again asking for you to kidnap Mason so he can be a permanent guest. I love it.
I don't think we can do that, Jamie.
Jacob, we absolutely can't do that. We can kidnap Mason. That can happen.
No, we can't kidnap Mason.
It can happen. You're acting as if I don't already have him in my closet right now.
Is that who's guessing on 103?
Sure, totally. But this is also funny because I have guests planned for 103, and Jacob doesn't know who it is. So, anyway, let's see. Moving over to YouTube next. First off, a fun little comment from our latest one shot for Trinity, Daughter of Wonder Woman, number 3.
Oh, really?
Just someone saying Trinity has been a funny character, and it's true. Like I think she's just been a lot of fun, and I think that's partially why I just really enjoy her. I like some of the more serious material she's been given in specifically that issue, number 3. But yeah, she's just been fun to read. I enjoy her a lot. Sorry, that was from the Bulldozer 7970. So, we have another comment from Marcus over on the YouTube copy of episode 100. Marcus says, apologies, I don't normally double post, but y'all opened up this can of worms. Fresh Face Comics, the movie, starring John C. Reilly as Jacob and Jack Black as Joey Morgan. Which I love. I love that. I'll take Jack Black. I'll absolutely take Jack Black.
I guess I'll take John C. Reilly. Like, that would work.
I can see it. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I love that. Let's see. And then moving over to our Patreon. First off, before we move on to this, we have a new patron, and obviously we'll call out our new patrons as you join. And as always, patrons that join on our Patreon at literally any tier will always get their names listed in the description of every single Blood Donut video that we put out on the YouTube channel and on Spotify for our Fresh Eyes Comics releases. So Jamie, our longtime listener and question submitter, Jamie, submitted a question or submitted a comment on our Spotify. This is on our extra for episode 100. If you want to go check out that, you can check that out there. You can get 30 extra minutes of episode 100, as if that episode wasn't long enough. There's more there, as well as a commentary for Jacob listening to the special message we included in episode 100. It was lovely. But Jamie commented on it and said, notoriously right-wing Jacob saying he supports multinational corporations, fork found in kitchen. Jamie is going to be an absolute menace on that page, and I cannot wait to see what else he does. But yeah, I think that actually does it for today's correspondence, and as such, our questions and everything. Man, a hefty non-spoiler section today for episode 101. Yeah.
Very hefty.
Yeah. But I guess it's almost time to jump into spoilers. Before we do jump into spoilers, though, if you're not sticking around to the end of the episode, and if you're not listening to spoilers, you already know what the next episode is. We're covering the next volume. It's issues 41 through 50, plus annual number 3 of Spider-Man next time. It's going to be all kinds of fun. We're covering a lot of the early John Romita era of Spider-Man, and it's so
it is because I've had to read ahead a little bit because of trying to schedule. We have to try to get this episode out. This next episode recorded the week of this episode being out. So, it's a breath of fresh air. We'll have thoughts.
Yeah, definitely. As always, though, if you're not sticking around for any of that, you can find Amazon links to the books we're covering today and book we're covering next time on the podcast. You can find it all down below, as well as our link trees, our socials, and everything. You can follow us wherever you want to follow us. You can find us on Blue Sky and other places. Like I recently made a TikTok account because I don't know. I guess I want to get myself out there more, and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm in my mid-20s, and I feel like I'm too old for TikTok. So. I don't know. Follow me over there. I'm there, I suppose. As well as anything else? No, I think that's it actually. Patreon. Join our Patreon. There are 3 tiers. You can join the $1 tier, the ensign tier, the cadet tier. Gets your it's a general support tier. It gets your name in the description of every video we put out on Blood Donut Studios. The $2 tier, the cadet tier, gets you early access to our Star Trek reviews, as well as your name in the description of all our videos. On the $5 tier, the big one, the Lieutenant tier, gets you all the previously mentioned perks, as well as Star Trek commentaries. Me and my brother are going through all of TOS again, as well as Fresh Race extras. Today, for this episode, we recorded an extra 25 minutes of the show. We're talking about mostly tabletop RPGs and me burying a dead cat earlier today.
It was honestly, you should be like, trigger warning, discussions of pet death, because
trigger warning on that. But also, I feel like I preface the story enough. Like if somebody doesn't want to listen to that, they'll know it's coming.
Yes. So
yeah, but also it is kind of a funny story. So go listen to that, I suppose. All right. Without further ado, I think it is time at long last to get into our spoiler discussion of Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man, Marvel Masterworks, Volume 4, with The Amazing Spider-Man, number 31. If This Be My Destiny. Yeah. God, what did I just see? Something Spider-Man related quoted this story title, and I can't think of what it was now.
I mean, I don't know.
They might have named one of the episodes of that Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show after this, I think.
Maybe. I didn't watch that.
I haven't watched it either. Basically, I was turned off from watching that show when the lead actor playing Spider-Man was like, you know what, I think what's so good about the show is that it isn't woke or anything. And I was like,
oh,
okay,
yeah.
I was like, okay, I have no interest in this now. So yeah, just all kinds of wrong vibes going into that. But
bad vibes. Yeah, okay, so...
Now, it's important that you know, Jacob, according to the cover, this issue is dedicated to you, the great new Marvel breed of reader. And what kind of story does Stan Lee have for us today? Also, I just realized, oh god, in holding this book, I have a blister on my hand from holding the shovel that I buried a cat with today.
Oh, this is what this episode's gonna be. It's gonna be fucking insane. You have a blister? I'm juggling 2 Omnis.
You have 2 Omnis because the first Omni cuts off at issue 38, so you got to read 2 issues from the second omnibus. I had to do something for something else for another episode we recorded. What?
I don't remember what it was.
I mean, I needed the Omni to cover Haunted Night last episode, but the only other thing I had with me then was the DC Finest volume.
I think it was Trinity War. I think it was Trinity War.
Oh, yeah, I had that, and I think I had the Justice League trade, but I had the Justice League Dark Omnibus for that, which is a massive fucking omnibus, and yeah, so that was probably it. Anyway, God, it's taking us so long to get into this issue.
Let's get to the story. Oh gosh. Okay, so
Spider-Man is doing a fight. He is doing a fight against some bad people, and they work for a guy named the Master
Planner, and they are doing a robbery. They're carrying out Plan G.
I actually forgot how fun it was to describe 60s comics out loud.
Yeah, and they have an underwater base. Which, let's be honest, that's actually kind of cool. Like,
it's cool.
Like, it's like props where it is. We have an underwater base.
Yeah. And then as they escape, we get a scene of Peter talking to his aunt as he's about to go off to his first day of college. And we get a little hint that Aunt May isn't doing so well.
She's feeling sick.
She's just a frail old woman, and she doesn't know what to do with this young whippersnapper. He's such a weak little boy, and I can't worry him because I'm feeling ill. And it's typical Aunt May shit.
God. Here's the thing. I'm pretty sure that was a plot point in Volume 2. Like,
it is, and every Aunt May plot from this point on is just kind of recycled Aunt May plot.
She has one plot, and you can't look.
All Aunt May do is be sick and die.
No, be sick and not die. That's the problem.
And never die, apparently.
Never die. Like, I'm not one. Here's the thing. I don't think you need to have a tragic dead parents or dead family members to be a superhero.
I mean, Peter's got enough of those. He's got 3 dead parental figures. He's got more than the average superhero. So.
He does.
Yeah, so we don't need to add Aunt May onto it. But man, what purpose is Aunt May actually serving in this book?
I don't know. Okay, so we get actually about a third of a page dedicated to like that first day of college, and it's well structured. It's pretty well structured.
Yeah,
Dialogue's heavy because Stan Lee dialogue.
Yeah, classic Stanley dialogue. Go Burr. We see Flash here. We see the Flash is at the same college, and he's a dick, and he tells him to drop dead. And classic how teenagers talk to each other. But then after a long day, first day of college, Peter,
AKA figuring out where your classes are, registering for classes, and getting textbooks because this is the 60s.
Do we know if Stanley actually went to college?
Google is free, but
I've never bothered to look into it. But I'm just wondering it now.
It doesn't say.
Part of me wonders if the answer is no.
Let's see, 22. Well, let's see. He enlisted in the army in 1942.
Yeah, I'm not seeing. Let's see.
Let's see. He went to a Catholic high school.
Let's see. I don't see anything about a college.
Nope.
Here.
He immediately after high school went to work for Timely Comics as
yeah.
So,
which does make the fact that Stanley is going to heavily focus on Pete's college life going forward so funny.
Someone who has never been to college. Now, let's be fair. I went to college in the late 2010s and early 2020s, which I'm sure is very different from the late 1960s. We'll get to why in about 7 issues.
but still, it is funny all the same. But then Peter goes home. Aunt May faints because she's a sick bitch, and then she gets taken to a doctor.
The doctor makes a house call because it's the 60s.
Sorry, it's a house call, and basically she passed out because she's sick with. Is this where they reveal it? They reveal that she is sick because of radiation. Is this the scene? No, I don't think
they don't know. She's sick with a mystery illness.
Illness. But spoilers, it's radiation from fucking Peter, and it's so fucking funny.
It's radiation poisoning. Yeah, but and you know what? Here's the thing. Peter in the next scene would be compelling to be like, wasn't able to sleep because his aunt fell ill on his first day of college.
Oh, this scene is so funny though, because Peter's like really distracted. He's very focused on.
He's very focused, and he's got his interlude, and then we're like just in one panel. We're like, "Hi, my name is Harry Osborn. This is Gwen Stacy. Hi,
some of the most important Spider-Man characters of all time." And Peter, the entire
let's be honest. If Steve Ditko had his way, neither of them would be important.
Oh god, yeah. It's insane. But the whole scene, I mean, they're basically not important here because they introduce themselves and Peter's too preoccupied thinking about his aunt that he just walks right by them and they go, "What a fucking dick," and that's the end of the scene. It's really bad.
Gwen sticks up and he seemed nice enough. It's like, Gwen. He didn't say anything. He literally
he doesn't seem nice at all. He's oh, it's bad. But also Gwen and Harry start associating with Flash because Flash is at the same college. Peter once again spends more time thinking about his aunt as some more kids try to hang out with him, namely just Harry and Gwen. And it's interesting because you only really have a history of Harry Osborn and adaptations.
Mainly
childhood friend.
Yeah.
But there's just something about the Raimi films that rewired everyone's brains when it came to the portrayal of Spider-Man in anything. Because I mean, thankfully the wrist web thing didn't stick. But something like Harry Osborn being Pete's childhood friend, every single adaptation has stuck with that, and it's pretty consistent. But here's
the thing. I partly think it's because people don't want to remember just how much of an friendless asshole early Peter Parker was.
Yeah. And here's the thing, come next volume, you actually are going to see a huge change, and you'll see why Harry and Peter are actually seen as really good friends in any adaptations. But here, I mean, you also can't really blame Harry for kind of not liking Peter, because Peter is just outright ignoring everything that him and Gwen say to him, and it's it's bad.
Here's the thing. When this is all said and done, all Peter has to say is, "Look, I'm incredibly sorry the way I treated you. My aunt was sick," and people would understand.
Yeah, but because this is essentially written by Steve Ditko, because he was also co-plotting at this point. Because this is Steve Ditko, and he's so dedicated to Peter being a fucking asshole.
An asshole lone wolf objectivist hero.
Yeah, and so Peter can't have friends. Man, I know it's so easy for people to complain nowadays that Peter is like never happy and we keep resetting the character over and over again. But realistically, that's what Steve Ditko wanted for the character, and he half created the fucking guy. Like,
yeah,
it sucks. It really sucks.
It's like we get this scene where they're in a chemistry lab, and Gwen just asks, "It's like, excuse me, Pete, can I borrow a pen?" And Peter just ignores her. Here's the thing. The way it's framed is so weird, right? Because Ditko's drawing it all. Mm-hmm. Gwen is, drawn to look ugly. Like, we're supposed to be sympathizing with Peter and not having any sympathy for Gwen Stacy.
Because, not gonna lie, Gwen's kind of hot. I don't know. Is she drawn to look ugly? I don't know.
In the bottom two panels on it's page 10, where it's very
yeah.
Oh, there go my earbuds.
I mean, if that's what Steve is going for, he's kind of failing at it. But man, it's so rough. And even even the professor here, in the lab, is starts yelling at Peter because Peter isn't focusing on shit, and also Harry's fucking with Peter's experiments because
Harry's just decided Harry's just I'm just gonna be the worst and try to cause an explosion in a chemistry lab. Excuse me,
Jacob, would you like to bring any personal experience into this?
I'm a by trade in college. Yeah, I have been in labs where. Mainly Gen Chem labs where people were dicking around, and luckily no one got hurt. But it's very easy for people to get hurt in a chemistry lab. Don't play around with chemicals, guys.
What if I want to, Jacob?
Only do it under proper supervision.
What if I'm Harry Osborn?
You're not Harry Osborn.
Thank fuck. So we have Peter leaving school once again for the day. More people try to talk to him, and he doesn't talk to them.
Not just talk to him. Invite him out, just to go get a soda.
Yeah.
My God,
which was a thing these hip swinging young people did in the 60s.
I mean, it is the 60s thing of go to the diner for a soda, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But,
it's great.
Look, we live in a post-COVID world where teenagers don't, and let's be honest, a lot of adults don't have a spot to socialize. This was a thing, and it's my point is, Pete could have friends if he wants it, and that's not how it's portrayed. It is portrayed as, look at these posers. They just want to know Peter because he's smart. Yeah. Which, no. Anyway.
So Peter goes to see Aunt May then, and
outright lies and says, "Yeah, no, I've met a bunch of swell guys and gals." No, you fucking didn't.
The doctor sees him and is still just tests. They do more tests on Aunt May, so she has to stay there.
It's we don't know what's wrong with her. We don't know. Which that's part of the problem with these issues is that they get so repetitive, I
get they're kind of trying to, once again, they're trying to do that multi-issue story arc thing like they did with Doc Ock in the past, but they're kind of stretching it in certain points, and it's I don't know, we don't need a whole ass scene that says Aunt May needs to stay in the hospital longer. We just assume she's there still. But yeah, we're just kind of artificially extending scenes. Peter realizes that she now has medical bills that he needs to pay for her, and so he goes out as Spider-Man to go get some pictures of himself to sell to the Daily Bugle. And because he goes out swinging all night and can't find any criminal activity, Peter is tired the next day, and so now he's tired and is in the hospital. So he ignores even more people at school the next day, and people hate him even more. And man, you really start to see the book coming apart at the seams.
Yeah, like, because then we get our first Jameson scene with the Daily Bugle crew. So, there's this interview with Stan Lee where he said, when we created the Marvel, what I would like to do is when I would do the scripts after I got the art in, I would try to add more dialogue when I didn't think the art was very good.
I never heard of that. Oh my god.
It's this interview.
I
would let the art speak for itself when it was like a Jack Kirby 1-page spread or a Steve.
Oh man, yeah. Scene. You know what? God, you're right. I've never. Yeah, obviously it's easy to see. There's a lot of dialogue bubbles on this page, but
so much. Here's the thing:
there are 9 panels on page 14 of this issue. The dialogue bubbles are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 26 dialogue bubbles on a 9-page grid, a 9-panel grid. Oh my god!
And all it communicates to the reader is, Parker hasn't been bringing by photographs, and Jameson is pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Betty is annoyed and trying to call Peter, is getting no answer, and doesn't have an answer for Ned Leeds. Yeah. Also, Foswell is there.
Yes. And so then Foswell is going to go out because he's still an undercover criminal to try to be an undercover. He's undercover as a criminal, still a reporter though. And that's that. The next day, Peter actually talks to Gwen Stacy for once, and she
all he says is, "I'm sorry, you'll have to excuse me. I'm in a real big hurry. Can't stop now." Which, at least,
Peter Parker
he says he's sorry.
Yeah. And Gwen still yells at him for it. But then he goes to see Aunt May again, and he gets.
And once again, it's like we don't have an answer yet.
Oh god!
How many pages has it been?
We're on page 16. We're on page, and here's the thing: every single issue in this volume is 20 pages long. So 16 pages is almost done with the issue already, and we've established nothing. We established a few things, but we've never gone beyond that establishment.
So now we actually can get an inciting incident with Foswell talking to Spider-Man to be like, "Hey, I think there's going to be a robbery at Pier 6 tonight." Okay. Cool. We have an incident. Peter can stop a robbery. So we see that happen.
And he stops the robbery, and everything goes well. There's no further conflict there. He stops them. Foswell, I guess, goes to report on it, and then we get a little tease of like who the master planner is in their underwater base, and now we get the issue ends on a scene where this Aunt May's doctor is running some more tests, and apparently the poor woman can't last much longer.
Again, Jamie thought this was the best of the Lee Ditko run. Are you sure?
Yeah, he said it was some of the strongest. He didn't say the best.
I don't think it's particularly strong.
It's really here's the thing. It's because it includes a ridiculously iconic Spider-Man moment towards the end.
Yeah, cool.
And if it weren't for the scene that was adapted directly into Spider-Man: Homecoming, I don't think this story would be remembered as fondly as it is.
Very likely, because I'm going to be honest. I have not struggled as nearly as much reading the Romita issues as I have the Ditko issues, just in general.
The issues are such a fucking breeze, and you only just got to Mary Jane where you're at. Like, dude, oh my god, she is the reason that book is a breeze to read. But also, like, I don't know, man, it's so rough. Anyway.
This is rough. So, Amazing Spider-Man number 32.
With his Aunt May gravely ill in the hospital, Spider-Man fights as never before.
Man on a rampage.
Why couldn't the end of the last issue be the big reveal of Doc Ock? Because this issue opens on the reveal of Doc Ock, and I feel like that would have been a better cliffhanger.
Dude, that is my first note.
I believe it. Like if Doc Ock is the master planner, he's the guy controlling these guys. And yeah, it would just be a better cliffhanger from the last issue than just something really casually revealed at the start of this issue.
Yeah. So we're about to get another extended Bugle scene where Peter's just a fucking psychopath. Like,
yes, that is true. Because
Peter. So Betty wants to talk to Peter because Betty's concerned for him because
people are rightfully concerned for Peter Parker because the man has issues.
Yes, he's like, how can I tell you the truth? She thinks she loves me, but if she ever found out I'm Spider-Man, she'd drop me like a potato.
I mean, yeah, true, probably true.
Now's my chance to make her angry at me,
and he's going to act. So Peter, fucking the second he sees Ned Leeds, just slams him into a fucking wall.
And just a reminder, I hate to say this, this could be brilliant if we're gonna frame Peter as the bad guy in this situation. Ditko doesn't. Ditko expects you to really like Peter Parker the asshole. Even though in half of this he's acting like Jameson.
It's one of those Ditko wants to portray Peter as a good righteous man who does the right thing, but for who does the wrong thing but for the right reasons, and
except I think Ditko thinks it's the right thing because
because a scene where Peter slams Ned Leeds into a wall is not portrayed as a good thing, but it's portrayed as noble because Peter is supposedly saving Betty in this moment.
Saving Betty and putting himself first.
Yeah.
For some reason. So he's brought some photographs. Jameson's can't use them. They suck. And then Peter's just again.
And then Betty tries to reason with Peter, like a sane human, and Peter walks out and like a fucking dick. He then goes to see Aunt May again, where we learn finally that that
in some mysterious way, Mrs. Parker absorbed a radioactive into blood and were unable to get it out.
And so it was Peter donated blood to Aunt May at some point, and I also I forget when did that actually happen I don't remember that happening for some reason.
Yeah, it happened, I think.
Which I guess doesn't make sense because there's this amazing editor's note that says a no prize to the first Spidey fan who tells us what ish this occurred in Forgetful Stan, which is just amazing. But yeah, so Peter obviously blames himself for Aunt May having radiation poisoning. And so Peter smashes things at his home and decides to go reach out to the one and only Dr. Kirk Connors, who just so happens to be in New York right now because he's not in Florida anymore, I guess. He just happens to be in New York, and so Peter is going
he just happens to have moved to New York, and he has a lab in New York.
And so Peter, as Spider-Man, goes to Dr. Connors, and
because Connors doesn't know Peter Parker's Spider-Man.
Yeah. And so he goes to Connors and is like, hey, help me come up with a cure to this radiation in her blood. And he's like, I will do that. And so Spider-Man helps him out. He helps him out to make this. And it's actually a scene of Peter being a helpful, normal person.
The one scene like this, also it's he does the selfless thing of selling his microscope and some scientific equipment to raise money to get some of the chemicals needed for this experimental treatment.
Mm-hmm.
It works. But also, Doc Ock is going to steal the serum chemical that they need because evil.
And so they attack a guy that has the serum, and Doc Ock steals said serum. And so Peter, so Connors is informed of this, and Spider-Man goes into action, and also stops into the Daily Bugle. I totally forget why. Oh, he's looking for Foswell. That's right.
He's looking for Foswell so he can get the details on where the planner is, because ? Foswell knows that.
Yeah. But I also just love this little like 2-panel moment where Peter like jumps into the bugle and like scares Betty, and there's just this horrified, disgusted look on her face as she looks at Spider-Man, because she hates Spider-Man, and if Peter ever told her that he was Spider-Man, she would just fucking hate Peter now. Apparently, like it's not like if you told somebody that. And sure, maybe Betty hates Spider-Man, but we know she deeply cares for Peter, and maybe that would actually cause conflicting emotions in her, and maybe that would actually cause her to think of her friend Peter differently, and we can actually maybe go on an emotional journey with this character. But no, we can't do that, of course.
We can't do that. She can't have a character arc.
Yes.
Nobody in this book can have a character arc.
Yeah.
Like characters must be static and be voices for the author's opinion.
Betty's character development kind of stopped when we found out she hated Spider-Man, really. Like,
yeah, no, that's sadly true.
Yeah. But yeah, so Spidey goes and finds Foswell and intends to find out where the Master Planner and his men are, and so he does. And meanwhile, get a little cutaway to the Doctor looking after Aunt May. And he's certain that she's gonna fucking bite it, and
she has now slipped into a coma.
Spider-Man rips shit up looking for the Master Planner. Gets some like a quick scene of like Connors trying to crack the serum for this radiation poisoning. And
we get the Doc Ock reveal.
Yeah, Doc Ock. Spider-Man finds out that it's Doc Ock, who's the Master Planner. We actually get Steve Ditko playing around with some of the layouts here, and doing some different panel layouts, and making for some actually quite snappy action, despite the fact that there are still a shit ton of thought bubbles and dialogue bubbles throughout this.
But a pretty normal amount for Stan Lee.
Like, I find often there can be a lot of speech bubbles on a page, but I think if that's the case, the layout of the page needs to be interesting. And these are examples of like some interesting layouts here that I think actually make it kind of a bit easier to read, I find.
Here's the thing. They're not like crazy. It's not like some crazy modern Greg Capullo making you turn the book over. It is some pretty simple 3-panel layout, 4-panel layout, like.
But it is such a breath of fresh air among the 9-panel grids that Ditko constantly does.
Ditko loves his Ditko is a slave.
Six max.
6, 7, and 9. Those are his. And I hate to say it, it's fascinating. So in between our last time we've read Ditko Spider-Man and this time, I actually read, obviously we read some Golden Age stuff for episode 100, but I'd also read some Golden Age Superman. And a lot of Golden Age Superman, because it was originally it was basically being published in comic book form and in newspapers. A lot of it's strictly 9 to a page, because it's like 3 strips to a page, basically. And that doesn't get nearly as bogged down. And that's stuff like 30 years before this. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a shame. And I know I'm sure you're also noticing a lot. Like Romita even plays around a lot more with like page layouts than
I noticed it in 39. Like
yeah,
it's John Romita comes on this book and it immediately changes because we build up the fight. Book? He comes onto the book, onto the team of the. Oh my god.
Oh man, it's the simple things that make me laugh. Anyway, Doc Ock kicks Spidey's ass essentially, and
sticks him under the equipment in a again great cliffhanger. Mm-hmm. As Aunt May is quote unquote dying. Like
Spider-Man is trapped into this equipment. The underwater base begins to leak, and water begins to spill into the base as Spider-Man is reaching for the serum. We get this actually fucking brilliant last couple panels where like Aunt May is dying, Connors is waiting on the serum,
The
master
goons.
planners, the goons are waiting for Spider-Man to die inside. And Spider-Man, I love this dialogue. It was actually really good. I failed just now when it counted the most. I failed, and God, I love it. It's a Lee was always a master of just the come back for this next time. Wherever you go, whatever you do, whatever befalls, this we say to you: you must not miss the next issue of Spider-Man. And now to that glorious moment when you hold next month's copy in your eager hands, we wish you one and all happy web slinging. The end.
It's
great. Like there's just this urgency into reading this book, and you turn the page, at least in collected editions, you turn the page and you see.
So interestingly, in the Omni you get the letters.
Mm-hmm. Well, of course, yes.
And I do want to call out, I love nerds, because some kid created his own lizard costume, like his own comics accurate
that's
lizard.
Awesome.
I think I sent you a picture to a Discord chat that we have. It is.
Did you? I might have missed it.
I might have. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I did.
I need to find it somewhere. I don't remember seeing it.
It is in the group chat we have with This Is Dead, because we were talking about this book.
Okay, I will look for it in a moment.
Yeah.
But that brings us into Amazing Spider-Man number 33, which is the final chapter, and you can tell by the cover, of course, we have an iconic Spider-Man moment incoming. You'd obviously know this moment from Spider-Man Homecoming, as most people do, I would imagine.
Yes.
But yeah, it's just one of those fantastic.
Oddly enough, I think my first exposure to the moment was back on Twitter, your thread, because of the your Marvel thread, because you had read this, and I had seen it's Alex Ross who does the redraw.
I don't think so. No, I think it's somebody else. It's not Ross. I know that.
It's not Ross. Well, it's a fantastic redraw either way.
It is. Yeah.
But fantastic. Also, just Steve Ditko's a good artist. Like, this is an amazing cover.
It's a great cover, dude.
Like,
oh my God.
It is honestly, it is kind of a shame. It's a shame that you just see this relationship deteriorate in real time, because when Ditko was good, he was really damn good.
Yeah. I did also just find the redraw on Volume 4 of the Masterworks was Dean White.
That is a name I am not familiar with, but it's fantastic.
Either. Yeah, it's a great reader. I think he did all the redraws of the, or at the very least they're re-inks, because when they credit the collection covers, they say Steve Ditko and whoever did it, and it's Dean White in this case.
It must be re-inking the original pencils, because yeah. And then I know Ross for the Omni actually did a version of the Amazing Fantasy cover.
Yeah, I do love that cover. What's the cover for the second Omni? Actually, I don't know.
It is the edition that I have. Trouble with Marvel Omnis is they do sometimes do like a bunch of different covers for the same Omni.
Yeah.
So I've got the one I've got one that is just a straight reprint of, not even a redraw, a reprint of the 39 cover.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I mean, it's a great cover, obviously. Cool. That's one of my favorite covers, actually. I love it.
It's a great cover. It looks great, but it's always fascinating when you have multiple Omnis from series, and stylistically they are so different.
We have getting actually into the issue, then picking up exactly where we left off, and we have those great couple of panels, sort of like picking up where we were, sort of just reminding us of where we were, and then we get the scene. We get Spider-Man. It is literally just Lee and Ditko writing one of those really heroic moments that really just makes you believe in a superhero, which I know sounds really corny to say, but it's so good. I absolutely love it. We get one of the few reminders post Uncle Ben death of that Uncle Ben once existed in a comic book. At the very least in the Stan Lee era, it was never brought up all that much. But
I mean, reserving it for here makes a lot of sense.
It does. It totally does.
This is a lowest point. You could argue this is a moment where Spider-Man needs to fully become the Spider-Man and love, and he doesn't afterwards. He gets reverted basically at the end of this issue back to Peter Parker, psychopath.
Yeah.
So
We also have I love the style of this. It's one thing in Ditko actually kind of using his typical layouts to his advantage, because we have like the 7-panel page, a 6-panel page, a 4-panel page, leading into that just that one full page of him lifting up the machinery as the water flows from it. It looks so good. I really love it. Spider-Man gets the serum. He escapes the
and
base.
you know what? The art does a lot of the speaking.
Yeah.
Peter looks fucking tired. He looks tired. Like you believe that this was an ordeal. This was a trial. It's great.
So, as Spider-Man escapes, he has a face-off with some of the Master Planner's goons, and we get a great fight sequence here. Once again, the art doing most of the work, because there's not a ton of dialogue here. It works really well. We have like reminders like Aunt May being sick, sort of like driving Peter on. Like once again, all done through the art again. It looks really good. And after winning this fight, he again slowly, really beaten, really worn out, sort of walks his way out of the base and makes his way back to the lab of Curtis Connors, making this serum, this formula to cure Aunt May. Spider-Man delivering said formula to the doctors, curing Aunt May, and ending out Aunt May's little subplot there. For the time being.
For now, it's going to be a little bit before we get she's definitely cured. It's like, now we can wait. But then Peter's like, well, there's an underground layer. I do need some money for this. Let's get some pictures.
Yeah. And so Foswell sort of gets wind of the Master Planner moving again, and he goes out to report on the story.
I love how it's like, I gotta go, Jameson. The Master Planner's on the move. I just got a tip from Spider-Man. We're gonna have an exclusive scoop. And James is like, an extra music to my ears. And Betty's like, Mr. Jameson, you're smiling. Is anything wrong? Like,
yeah, it's funny. Jameson is just consistently the best character throughout all this. He's so good. We have Spider-Man and Foswell sort of converging on the same spot here as these Master Planner goons get captured. Peter goes to deliver some pictures to Jameson, and Betty sees that Peter has a bandage on his face and that he's kind of beaten up, and Peter's like, Peter like tells her not to worry about it, and we get this fantastic, really dramatic panel featuring Betty as she like holds her face and looks at the camera, if you will, and it goes, once before I lost someone who meant the world to me because he wanted to live dangerously. I couldn't bear that heartbreak again. I couldn't bear to lose another. It's too much to ask, too much for a girl to have to endure. And so Betty runs away, scared of Peter, I guess. I mean, I'd be scared of Peter Parker too if I witnessed the behavior that he normally puts on, but she's scared for kind of a different reason.
kind of a different reason. But Jameson takes the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Peter asks them for $100 each. And asks for the check right now. And Jameson gives it, like...
Mm-hmm. We get some fun little back and forth of like, of Jameson kind of like begging for the pictures. It's fun. We get Peter checking in with the doctor once again, seeing that Aunt May is doing much better and is actually on the mend. I also realize Doc Ock is never actually apprehended in this issue.
Nope, he's not.
There we go. God, I do love the little tease page at the end of this, though. The next issue, Kraven the Hunter. I love that image of Kraven pulling the panel apart. It just looks so cool. Bring us into the Amazing Spider-Man number 34, The Thrill of the Hunt. Kraven the Hunter returns. Now, Kraven the Hunter's sort of publishing history before this is that weird thing where like he got his first appearance in I think issue 15, and then like the annual happens immediately after, where he's part of the Sinister Six, and we haven't seen him since. But that's kind of like annuals were always kind of treated back in the day. Like it's kind of like the annual didn't happen, because like this is very much clearly just directly following on from his defeat at the end of his first appearance.
Yeah, which is, you know, I suppose it makes sense. Like, I think
Yeah,
part of the idea is that the annual is its own book, basically. Like,
yeah,
um, because yeah, um, God, how how to describe how this thing works? I'd argue this is like our last maybe good issue of the
of the
Lee
Ditko stuff.
Ditko. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
definitely.
no, I do think
It's not bad, but there's not a ton to talk about.
it it's kind of doing the same story again. Like,
For the first Craven issue, yeah,
yeah,
definitely. It's literally just Craven wants revenge on Spider-Man, and because he is his greatest hunt, and he trains to do such a thing, and then he is defeated.
there's some interesting scenes. Betty has a nightmare that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
And she wakes up
Um,
from that, and I gotta say also, like, I always love looking back on these issues because the conclusion that Betty comes to after the possibility of Peter being Spider-Man is really fucking funny. She essentially decides to skip town because
yeah, she's like, I'm going to
Peter
leave
Parker
New
might be
York.
Spider-Man.
I'm going to go to leave New York.
So
And
funny.
yeah, we get another brief Mary Jane tease.
Yes, because we have Anna Watson looking after Aunt May as she's in the hospital, and um, yeah, she's sort of just reestablishing that she's still here and that she still has a niece that wants to meet Peter. But then we go back to school with Peter. We kind of have to reestablish Gwen and Harry because they've been absent from the book for at this point 3 months straight. Because they only really appeared in that first issue in college and then never again.
But
so yes.
like also, Harry Osborn outright tells Peter, "It's like, hey, you're being an asshole to everyone."
It's true. Like, and Peter. And like Peter thinks to himself, he's like, "Oh, now I get it. When I was worried about Aunt May, wrapped up in my own problems, they thought I was hi-hatting them. The old Peter Parker luck sure is running true to form." But he doesn't take that opportunity to say that out loud and just apologize. He takes it.
All you do is say, "I'm really sorry. My aunt was sick in the hospital, and I was under a lot of stress."
Such a simple fix. And like clearly, Harry is reaching out because he still wants to be friends with this guy, and like. And Peter still does nothing about it. And it really is just because Steve Ditko's still on this fucking book and Peter Parker's a loner who is rejected by the world. And like,
I mean, here's the thing. Peter Parker is Steve Ditko.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's because also like Steve Ditko gets wrapped up in this idea of who Peter Parker is because the conceit for Peter Parker is that he's different from other superheroes. Other superheroes, like they're kind of beloved by everybody. But Peter Parker and Spider-Man are the other ones that are truly hated by the public in their own books. People don't like Peter Parker because they see him as an asshole. And let's be real, he is. People don't like Spider-Man because there's this constant smear campaign by Jameson against him, and he Spider-Man's supposed to feel like the odd one out, this outcast. And Steve Ditko takes that really seriously and literally, and it doesn't work because of that. Like,
well, it's also semi-autobiographical.
Yeah,
Steve Ditko was a loner and an outcast, and would be until the end of his life. Like, if you look up interviews, the dude hated his fans. Like, he would outright say things like, "Oh, my fans are losers," like to that effect. And it's like, I don't believe a creative team owes anything to its fans.
No, of course not.
But that also doesn't mean don't be a dick to people who are interested in your work. Like,
yeah.
Like,
it's bad.
Especially when you're working in the 60s. And let's be honest, a lot of comic readers are little kids. Like,
yeah, totally.
Like you're being a dick to kids and teenagers who are possibly looking up to you.
Yeah. And like it feels so weird because we have to take this opportunity to really hate on Steve Ditko. And in order to do that, we kind of have to praise the opposite of this two-person team, which is Stan fucking Lee, who we can fault the guy for a great many things,
A
but like,
lot. I am always up for some Stan Lee slander
yeah,
because
but like in this case, the dude's kind of the hero of the situation. Like he loved his fans, he loved these guys. Like he knew who he was to these people. He was just as much a hero to the readers of Marvel comics at the time as the heroes he was writing. You know, because they knew he was the guy behind it all. They knew he was this kind of, as they saw it, mastermind behind the Marvel universe.
and
I don't know.
while he did kind of script everything or script a lot of things.
Mhm.
He at least tried to sometimes gave some credit, never enough, but like at least he gave something, which is more than we can say about other famous superhero creators.
Oh man, episode 100 was fun, wasn't it?
Episode 100 was very fun.
It was a great episode. You should listen to it if you haven't already. But all that said, after this colored scene, we get Peter going home, and Kraven still preparing for his hunt, and Aunt May being released from the hospital and going home and continuing to look after Peter because he's such a frail young boy and he's been studying too hard and he needs a hobby, or I don't know, like who fucking cares about Aunt May, man? Like, who gives a fuck?
Marvel editorial, they won't let her die.
Let her die.
They won't let her die. Then a lot of the issue becomes just essentially a Kraven Spider-Man hunt. Like,
because Kraven disguises himself as Spider-Man and he goes out and terrorizes people as Spider-Man, of course. And so Peter sees
that isn't necessarily like a bad plot. It's fine.
Oh yeah. It's at least a little different from the last Kraven issue. Here's the thing: Kraven's a great villain. Like, he really is. He like it's. There are a few Spider-Man villains that are just like a guy. If that makes sense. Like Kraven's whole shtick is that he is just a guy that has trained himself for the hunt, and his whole thing is that he sees Spider-Man as his greatest rival because he is the one challenge that he's been unable to conquer. It's a cool idea for a character. As it stands here, again, you're just kind of reading mostly the same issue, just minus the Kraven tries to frame Spider-Man for being just kind of a menace. Like, I don't know. If I was Kraven and I was so like adept at killing people, maybe I would like kill a person as Spider-Man. But he's just kind of like, he kind of just like runs in front of him and goes, man, he scares them, and that's it. Like,
part of me is wondering how much of this is the Marvel method of Stan Lee was given all the pictures and was like, okay, I need to make this compelling somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. But of course, people start to like doubt Spider-Man and believe Jameson's editorials about how Spider-Man is a threat to society, and so now Peter has another thing to worry about all day in school and ignore all of his friends over, or sorry, his not friends, because he's not given a chance to be friends with these people. So it's all he can think about as other people try to talk to him. So there's more of that, I guess. Meanwhile, at home, Anna Watson is trying to hang out with Aunt May some more, and try to get Peter to hang out with Mary Jane, and he's like, "Huh, fuck that bitch," and goes and swings away as Spider-Man. Finds Kraven as Spider-Man as well, and faces off against Kraven, who sprays Spider-Man with something that takes away his powers. Or at least like weakens his powers. It doesn't take them away, right? No, I don't know.
No, it just it weakens them.
It weakens them, yeah. And so now Spider-Man, in fighting just some regular criminals, is not as adept as he used to be, but he's still able to, they're just regular crooks. He does fine against them. But then now he is weakened and softened for Kraven to go in for the kill, and so there's a fight between them. That's actually not bad. Again,
the action, I will say, the action looks nice.
Yeah. It's one of those, like, the dialogue bubbles aren't too much. They could be significant.
The plot is very thin. Eventually, Peter just punches Kraven out and wins. Like,
yeah. There's not a really great like answer to the whole I've lost my powers thing. But then Peter relearned got some pictures of Craven that he's going to go sell to the Bugle. And as he goes to do such a thing, he finds out that Betty Brant has left the Daily Bugle and she's left town. And now there's a new girl working at the Daily Bugle. And oh, sorry, no, Peter doesn't see it. But the reader is given that information as Peter goes home and broods, I guess, like.
For some reason, he's sad.
He's sad about Betty, I guess. Like,
I guess.
And that's the end of the issue. Oh man. On to number 35. Now here we're going to enter the final 4 issues of the Stan Lee, Steve Ditko era of Spider-Man. And here's where it gets really rough. If we've been struggling before, it's going to get so bad here.
Yeah, like you. How many notes do I have on issue 35? I have like a quarter of a page of notes on this issue.
I'm surprised it's that many, honestly.
So,
the Molten Man regrets, because everyone loved the Molten Man, I suppose.
Here's the thing: I think you could make the Molten Man an interesting villain.
Molten Man is like, we're talking like C or D tier Spider-Man villain at this point. Like, it's certainly not the most unknown creation of the Ditko era, but I don't know. I certainly never had any great attachment to the Molten Man. Issue opens. The Molten Man has served his time in prison and is let go, only to immediately begin committing more crime, and that's the plot.
I hate that. That's the plot. Like
that's it's like I don't know. Like I know. I know it kind of became like a trope in like, say, like Batman the Animated Series when they would do one of those plots where like a villain is released from prison and they try to be like a reformed member of society and they can change their ways and something eventually breaks them. But I would take that a million times over this shit. Like
here's the thing. That's at least an interesting plot that can get into the psychology. It's just I want to go rob some jewelry stores and kill people.
Yeah. And so the Molten Man starts wearing disguises that makes him not look like a Molten Man, and so he goes and commits some crime, and he robs a bank, and Spider-Man is there to try to stop him, but he can't prove that it was the Molten Man, of course, because he was wearing a disguise that made him look like a regular man and not a Molten Man. And
never mind that like it's like my guy, someone just robbed a bank, guys, like. A crime has been committed here.
Yeah, but Spider-Man apparently lost because he can't prove that it's a bad guy that he's pretty sure it was.
And here's the thing. You can tell Stan Lee is pissed at all this shit because at about halfway through, page 11, we are building up to another fight. I'm going to read this out. In my best Stan Lee impression.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love this. I love this bit. Go ahead.
Now we promised Artie Simic we let him go wild with the sound effects page or two. So here goes. And
Patwee, Brack, Kapow, and Walk. And then
on the next page, Swat, Kabop, Rack. And you know what? Best thing about the issue.
Genuinely. Best thing about the issue. It's just action for 10 panels straight. Like it's nice. Or no, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 9 panels straight. Like it's a good thing. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
But also the issue just so clearly runs out of ideas because that fight continues on for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages until we hit the third to last page. When Spider-Man gets some pictures of the Molten Man as he was taking off his disguise from the bank, and he proves to the police that the Molten Man has not in fact changed his ways, that he's in fact a Molten Man. And only then, after that, do we follow up on the twist of the previous issue where Peter finds out there's a new girl working at the Daily Bugle and Betty isn't there anymore.
And she gives Peter his picture that Betty had framed for some reason. Like,
you know what? I love this second to last panel, the end panel of the last page with Betty's like silhouette of her face around Peter as he walks away. That's really good. That's really effective. But you can also really tell that like a lot of these things are happening because Stan Lee doesn't give a fuck about the book right now, and he's just not bothering to fill in as much dialogue as he normally does.
You can tell that the relationship is gone. Like,
yeah.
Ditko is writing the same issue. Like,
because I don't even think these guys were working on Doctor Strange again together at this point. Like, I think they're already separated on that at this point.
It's very possible. I'm also going to say, you can also tell Lee trying to put on his best showman is like, next ish, a swinging supervillain, so different, so new, we can't even tell you his name yet.
They clearly haven't come up with it yet. They just haven't come up with it yet.
Yeah, it's...
They just have to be fair, actually, not gonna lie, cool costume. I like the costume. But
not for a villain called the Uncanny Looter. So,
my boy. That takes us into the Amazing Spider-Man number 36. When Falls the Meteor, because this is about a villain called the Uncanny Looter, but man, this starts with a scientist looking after meteors. Like, this meteor that he finds gives him superpowers, of course, and so the first thing that happens when he gets superpowers is he's like, oh wait, hang on, I could just fuck this science stuff. I'm gonna be a bank robber, I guess. I'm gonna rob some banks.
Yeah, I'm gonna do crime. I will say,
be infected by meteor, do crime.
I will say, on page 4, there is a great horrific panel of this guy's face. He's fast.
Ooh, yeah.
Such a damn shame. Such a damn shame.
Really good art sometimes.
It's also a damn shame that the colorists aren't fucking credited on this book.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'd love to sing their praises, but I can't. God, do we have things? Yeah, we have things that happen.
Yeah, because we see who is this? Wait.
This is Sally Green. I think Ditko was trying to create a new character.
Yeah, this is her only ever appearance.
Yeah. Well,
so she's like, so Sally says to Gwen, she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna prove you wrong about Peter. He's actually a pretty good guy." And she goes, "Hey, Peter, want to come out with and hang out with the rest of the kids after class?" And he's like, "Hell yeah, I'll be there." And so she walks away, and then Peter goes, "Oh no, Oh yeah. She goes. Oh yeah. She's like. I'm so anxious to have at least one boy with brains instead of all those brawny athletic types. And so Peter goes into his mind. He's like, oh no, she thinks I'm a fucking egghead. So that means that I don't want to seem like an egghead. But she's saying she actually likes me. Like, so Peter then is like, no, I don't actually want to go out. Because in his mind, he's like, I'd rather not hang out with her if she thinks that I'm actually a smart and likable person.
Once again,
that's actually what happens. And so then Sally goes back to Gwen and is like, "Man, you're right. He fucking sucks.
He sucks."
And that was the end of Sally Green.
Here's the thing. Steve Ditko loves to create characters, like, and then do nothing with them. Because we'll get to it. Like, the big falling out, according to Stanley, which might not be true entirely.
Possibly, very likely, an unreliable narrator.
Was the details that I think are true is that I do believe Steve Ditko did not want Norman Osborn to be the secret identity of the Green Goblin. Because, here's the thing. We're going to get introduced to Norman Osborn. Next issue, he shows up.
Yeah.
Like, which is like, okay, we're clearly setting up a character.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, Ditko wasn't really interested in making the Green Goblin a character, like a proper character. He was ready to keep the Green Goblin in his sort of villain of the week status. But Stan Lee actually wanting to do something more with the book, credit where credit's due, wanted to do something more with the book and wanted to introduce
here's the thing. Steve Ditko wanted to coast on essentially what was quote unquote working, because let's be honest, this was Marvel's top seller. This is Marvel's fucking baby.
Here's the thing. Essentially, from that Kraven issue to issue 38, everything that we have left to cover from the Ditko stuff, we're reading the same issue again and again. Villain shows up, Spider-Man kind of struggles to beat him at first, but then there's a long fight scene where they're eventually defeated, and that's it. Like,
yes.
That is the formula. Yeah. Ditko liked the formula. He liked doing the formula, and he wanted to keep doing that forever because Spider-Man was a really popular book, and you didn't really need to do much more to sell it.
And to play the tiniest amount of defense for Steve Ditko, this book is coming out month to month.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. People also, there isn't like fan communities analyzing the plot and trying to see where a run's gonna go. Like, there aren't like the internet isn't these are just kids reading these month to month. So there is the argument to be made. You don't want to go overly serial. Mm-hmm. That could become difficult
but also,
to follow.
But also, the last time that Ditko ever really truly tried on this book was the Master Planner 3-parter. That was it. Like that, and there were still a lot of things wrong with that story arc.
Here's the thing. I think anyone could pick up like the middle issue of the Master Plan, or even you see that cover, a 33, fantastic cover. It's like, ooh, this Spidey's in danger. I want to pick up this book.
Yeah, and the book immediately catches you up on what's been happening on the first page.
Mostly because of, Stan Lee. Who knows how to catch a reader up?
He does. He fucking does. Like, God, we spent a lot of time on this podcast in the past bitching about Stan Lee, but here we are spending this whole episode rushing to the man's defense because he comes out looking like the good guy in this situation.
Yeah, there's okay, so in this actual issue, the Uncanny Looter needs more meteor gas. I'm kidding. So he raids a museum that Peter and Gwen are at, which, let's be honest, could be a good scene. Could be an interesting scene. Could be like if Gwen eventually thinks Peter's a coward because he disappears. I'm like, we could play with that. We could create a relationship.
Nope,
don't.
Not happening. If only. So Peter becomes Spider-Man. We get a fight between him and the Looter. And because we're only halfway through the issue, the Looter has to escape and evade Spider-Man's capture of him for the time being because we still have pages to fill. And so afterwards, the Looter just kind of comes back, robbing a different museum, and Spider-Man's there to find him and stop him, and he does. And that's the end of the issue. There's not even like a wrap up to this one. It is just he finds the Looter, he captures him. That's the end.
He unmasks him as well, as if
we know who it is. Like Spider-Man goes, well, if he's not going to play anymore, I might as well see who it is. No wonder he wore a mask. He sure wouldn't cop any beauty prizes, but I never saw him before in my life.
And this is the thing Ditko likes to do, like villains who are complete nobodies.
Yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much what he wanted the Green Goblin to be. Anyway, this is Spider-Man number 37. I realize actually because all these issues are the same, they're really easy to describe out loud, and we'll get through them pretty fast.
This one is, I mean, the last issue we have some discussions about because there's some stuff. But this is Once Upon a Time There Was a Robot, and if you look at this cover, these are just two panels plucked onto a cover.
Oh yeah.
Ditko's gone. Goodbye.
He's already done all the work on the interiors for this issue and the next one, and he is done. That's it. It's Joker.
Yeah. I think after this, he left Marvel.
I think so, yeah.
And then went back to Charlton Comics to go create Mr. A and characters like The Question.
Yeah. Good for him. So, do you know who Professor Strom is? Do you know where you know him from?
I put it together at the end of this volume.
Oh, did you actually? Okay, gotcha.
I was like, wait a minute. He's the guy in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie.
He's the guy that Defoe kills when he first becomes the Goblin. Yeah, it's pretty great. Yeah.
Can we just talk about the text on this first page where it says, "We hate to brag, but this one's a doozy."
Oh There's nothing to sell. He knows. Lee knows he's giving you nothing. He knows there's nothing here to sell. Like the story is called "Once Upon a Time There Was a Robot." Like, oh my god, that's so bad.
God, like my notes on this one, is I'm like, it's like, okay, so we pretend like Professor Strom is a character we're supposed to know. Like,
yeah,
I was like, wait, has this guy shown up before? And I'm like, and so I checked in the back of the Omni breakout of like first character appearances, and it's like, nope, first appearance, and I'm like, oh, okay, why the hell are we following? Why is Spider-Man following this guy? Like,
right, yeah, I guess he's just that bad a guy, I suppose. And then also there's another guy following him that tries to assassinate Strom. Tries to assassinate Foswell, who's watching Strom. And Spider-Man stops the guy that's going to assassinate Foswell. And then he drops the guy off for the police. And that's the opening. And
we get a bugle scene. And oh my god, we're back to the standard layout, and it's a problem.
Oh god,
like,
god, it's so rough. Jameson has hired another new secretary because nobody can replace Betty Brant apparently, which actually is actually an actually interesting plot point that clearly we're not interested in exploring a ton.
Well, again, because Steve Ditko doesn't want to do plot points. Steve Ditko.
Yeah, it'll take until Romita comes back to actually do anything else with Betty Brant. But yeah, we have Jameson trying to replace her with a new assistant after a new assistant. And so Peter learns of people going after Professor Strom, and he wants to look after him with he wants to look into Strom as Spider-Man.
So he drops a spider tracer into Foswell's hat. Mm-hmm. Like,
and then we get a small scene with Strom as he's working on some experiments. I guess he's making robots, and that's it.
He's making robots, and he wants to get revenge on whoever. We get a college scene.
Yeah. Where Gwen and Peter actually talk to each other. They speak. They have a conversation. It's not a good.
It's mostly shouting. It's mostly shouting.
It's not a good conversation, but it's a conversation where Peter's just so mean to her. Here it goes. He's like, "Hi, Gwen. We're both heading to the same class. Mind if I join you? What are you doing, Mr. Parker? Slumming? Usually you're too stuck up to say hello to anyone. Well, at least I'm not a temperamental female who drools over a fellow one day and then acts like an icicle to him the next." And then
what I think happened? I have not been reading the letters pages too closely, just because they're a lot. Because there's a lot. But I wouldn't be surprised if someone was like, "Hey, why is Peter so mean to everybody?" And then this is Ditko's response of like
being like, "Oh, well, Gwen's always mean to him." Like,
it's like, no, she wasn't. She was initially like, "I want to talk to get to know this guy," and then became cold when he was a dick. Like,
I love where this goes, though. Peter in his thoughts goes, "Drat that crazy temper of mine. Now I've really put my foot in it." And Gwen goes, even if you are ESU's newest science scholarship whiz kid, nobody talks to me that way. Come on, Gwen, simmer down. Let's bury the hatchet, huh? You think you can say what you want to me and then, ow!" I guess he grabs her hand as she goes to like slap him because Gwen's apparently mean. And then Peter goes, "Anyone ever tell you you're gorgeous when you're angry? Like, I don't blame Flash for coming in and putting a stop to this shit." Like,
I'm gonna say this kind of borders on sexual harassment.
Yeah, like, it's bad.
Just a little bit. Like,
yeah. But yeah, just such a it is such a hostile environment that we have sort of created for these characters that like it just gets really draining to read.
Honest, you know what? To circle this back around to our pre-show discussion. It's like early campaign won a Critical Role.
Yeah.
Like,
which you can hear us talk about tabletop RPGs if you go to patreon.com/bloodnutstudios and listen to Fresh Extras. Anyway, but yeah, it's you can just It just needs one minor fix to make things really click into place, and that one minor fix is getting rid of Steve Ditko in this case.
Or here's the thing: I could even imagine if like Lee could get a handle on Ditko to be like, "No, Steve, you have to actually write Peter with friends." Like, but Ditko fully believes that one shouldn't compromise their positions. Morality is black and white, and that would be compromising my beautiful visionary artistry.
And so, Dr. Strom lets loose some green goop.
Yeah, green robot goop. When did the absent-minded professor come? I'm very curious. Hang on. I probably should have looked up this beforehand. Because my note is it looks like Flubber, but with tentacles.
Yeah, it does. It does. You're absolutely right.
The absent-minded... No, not Flubber. I need the original.
Well, I can start describing the rest of the issue.
1961. So...
Yeah, that'd do it.
That'd do it. And this is 66.
Yeah. But yeah, we have the green goop robot fighting Spider-Man for a little bit.
For some reason.
And then we get a very minor, small first appearance of one Norman Osborn as he talks to his son Harry Osborn, which is cool. It's nice that we're actually establishing this character, and that clearly Stan Lee has plans for him, and Steve Ditko does not.
Yeah. Oh, but it's also like, we get very quickly, surprise, it's Norman Osborn who ruined Professor Strom, but also Norman's a dick to Harry, and this does not matter to the plot, but like, my brain was like, we have a character. I see a recognizable character.
But it is something that Lee wants to actually set up, and clearly, he'll get his way eventually, but clearly not while Ditko's here. We do also establish that Jameson and Norman Osborn know each other, I guess, from the club. We don't know what the club is. Some kind of country club, I imagine. But
I was going to say, it's like an old-timey gentleman's club. Like,
yeah. We also see Foswell and as Foswell investigating Strom some more, as Peter is as well, and he puts a tracker on Strom's new robot, and
they the gray robot. Spider-Man saves him. It's building, and
the robot go after Norman as Norman then also like you get a straight up like already an immediate straight up like villain Norman Osborn moment as he like knocks out Spider-Man when he gets a chance and runs away. And then as the robot continues going after Norman disappears, and Strom shows up, and we see Norman straight up try to assassinate Strom. Sorry, we don't confirm that it's Norman, but it's very easy to put together. It's Norman pointing a sniper rifle.
I mean, we confirm it in the final page where there's a panel with Norman Osborn holding a gun. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so like Norman Osborn just straight up has the gun, and this whole idea of Peter losing his spider sense, I think it's Stan Lee trying to create some foreshadowing for what is going to become 39 and 40.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The art doesn't really support, because the art doesn't really support it entirely. Like, like it's inconsistent, but it's like, right, we need to do something. Like, even if you look at the caption for what's coming next time, like next ish, while waiting to see more of the mysterious Mr. Osborn, we'll toss a new villain at you. Enough said. Like,
and then, my God, we get the masterpiece that is the cover of Amazing Spider-Man number 38. Just a guy named Joe. Here's Spidey at his fighting best. Just wait till you see the offbeat supervillain starring in this ish. He's the prize pussycat of the year. Thrills, spills, chills. Enough said. And it's all just a mishmash of other panels from the issue, and it is a sad state we're in. And then we are met with the fucking wall of text that the first 2 pages of this issue are. Like, first 4, how long does it stay like this? It stays like this a really long time. Essentially, the plot of Just a Guy Named Joe is that a boxer is bad at being a boxer, but he's really good at taking a beating. So he tries to go into show business, and he realizes that he can be a stuntman because he can get hit a lot. And so he gets put into some stupid alien monster costume, and then he is affected by some chemicals and lights and shit on a film set, and it gives him superpowers. And that's the plot.
that is the plot. It's I think the term is running on empty because
less than that if possible.
running on nothing, like.
So yeah, this there's a new secretary at the Daily Bugle that once again gets kicked out, and then Peter sees Ned Leeds and they yell at each other.
We didn't even mention it. It was a plot point that Ned Leeds went to California, and we thought, and like Peter thought, oh, maybe he and Betty just eloped or something.
That's so right, yeah.
But we didn't mention it because it's like one moment and that's it. Like, It isn't like doing a plot. It's a moment. They hate each other, obviously.
Yeah,
it's bad.
Yeah. And then Peter storms off, and then he sees
his internal monologue becomes incredibly sexist. It's like, oh, but I can't be sure. No one can predict a female's reaction. All right. You know what? I'm gonna outright say this. Don't refer to women as female. Like, that's some incel shit.
Yeah.
It makes you look bad. It makes you look like you don't think of women as people. Mm-hmm. Probably because you don't if you do this.
Yeah.
But like,
but meanwhile, on a movie set, Joe sees some guys to beat up in the shot of the film, and he seriously injures them because he has superpowers, and he's that's fucking with his mind, I guess. And so then he goes on a rampage outside, and Peter sees it and fights him as Spider-Man, and oh god,
he rips through Spider-Man's webbing. There's
a strongman,
and so much dialogue. So much dialogue. Like,
and so Joe
Peter kind of puts together that like he's not in his right mind. He's not trying to attack him because like I guess this is like split personality stuff, though not really. It's a whole thing. It's weird. We then get a weird scene with Norman Osborn, who dresses in a disguise.
Yeah, I forget why, honestly.
Well, he wants to pay some hitmen to kill Spider-Man.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And so,
and
then
that, and then we get a scene where Steve Ditko comes out as pro-Vietnam War in 1966. Like,
yeah,
that's
because Steve Ditko wants to say fuck these protesters,
these student protesters who want Flash, Harry, and Gwen and Peter to join their protest. And they're like, oh, if you join a protest, we'll join one of your protests. We'll even protest protesting. We're dumb college kids that don't actually stand for anything. And God, it is probably the worst thing that Steve Ditko has written. And
of course, Peter's inner monologue is, I'd better cut out before I give them something to protest about. Like, just...
Once again, like, okay, I should say, Steve Ditko doesn't say the Vietnam War is good, actually.
Yeah, but it's clearly baked.
However,
here's
the thing: the student protest movement of 1966 was two things. It was anti-war and anti-racism. You can take your pick on whichever you'd like to think Steve Ditko is against at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what? I kind of like this manager character that's been looking after Joe this whole time. He's genuinely kind of looking out for him.
I think some of the ideas that Joe's not like an actual supervillain. He's
not like a bad guy. He's just, he's some chemicals on a film set fucked with his brain, I guess. And so we get these hitmen planning to go after Spider-Man. They do that. I get tired and yawn. And then Joe goes on a rampage again, and he's doing this as Spider-Man's fighting his hitmen, and Joe decides to fight a bunch of other strongmen in a wrestling ring
for some reason. Again, also so much dialogue,
so much, and Spider-Man gets wind of this, and he goes to fight the Joe and those wrestlers, and I don't know. I guess eventually he just hits Joe hard enough that Joe gets like smacked into his senses, and like just so he's a good guy then, and the hitmen then go after Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's able to defeat them pretty easily
in like 3 panels.
Yeah, and then
he punches a dummy that looks like Ned Leeds.
Yeah, because again, Peter Parker is a sociopath, and then he goes home.
We get a 1-panel Mary Jane cameo without her head because
yeah, and then Aunt May says to Peter, "Oh, come meet the nice Mary Jane girl," and Peter's like, "Fuck the Mary Jane girl, fuck everything, fuck people, I hate life, I'm Steve Ditko," and that's the end of the Steve Ditko run. It's just it is a fittingly bitter note to end the run on. Like, it's God, it leaves such a bad taste in your mouth. And that is the note that the omnibus that you have ends on. I have the Epic Collections, so it's the note that the second Epic Collection ends on. Because rightfully, I think that they want to round out the Ditko stuff. But man, I'm so grateful for the Masterwork collections for just saying, no, you deserve a treat after sitting through all that shit. Here's issues 39 and 40. Like, so
because we know Volume 5. Because I'll say this, I've only read the first 3 first 3 issues of Volume 5 currently.
Oh, they're so good.
There's a lot in those first 3 issues where I'm like, ooh, these, if this was still the Ditko run, one of these issues would be like the highlight of the volume. Because
so good. So let's get into this. God, The Amazing Spider-Man number 39. God, what a cover! It's just one of those all-time great Spider-Man covers that I think about so often. It's so good. This is How Green Was My Goblin. This is a great title.
It's quite literally, we need a green pun. Yeah. And all I can think of is How Green Was My Valley, the 1941 Best Picture winner.
And here we go. This is the start of John Romita Sr. working on Spider-Man. And Stan Lee just finally saying, look, this is the direction of the book. So we promise the return of the Green Goblin. We get our usual little teases of a masked man and taking out the mask and planning the death of Spider-Man.
Immediately,
it's so snappy.
Romita's art is strong.
It's because the art is great.
Let's just take this first proper page. If this were drawn by Ditko, the Goblin would be straight on from behind. Hidden straight center behind the door, straight on from behind, straight on from front, straight on from front, straight on from front. Romita just moves the posing ever so slightly.
Yeah.
His head's tilted in the first one. It's off center, and in the foreground is the mask in the second one. Third one is a center shot. There's movement.
It's just that little bit more dynamic. There's just so much more there to look at.
Well, that, and so one thing about reading comics is that comic art has to flow. This flows down the page. Like it is slowly moving your eye, from panel to panel, a lot better than what Ditko was doing. Especially by the end.
It's also worth noting we're gonna have a lot of great things to say about these 2 issues. I think these 2 issues, the story that these 2 issues make up, is just better than literally the entirety of the Ditko run. Like this is easily the best Spider-Man story of these first 40 issues.
Oh yeah, no, if it's the terrible problem of were I just rating it's the problem of overall I'm giving volume 4 like a 5 out of 10. Were these last 2 issues not here, it would be like a 3.
That's fair. See, I would almost say these last 2 issues elevate the volume just a little bit more, maybe like a 6 at least. But like, man, it's because these last couple issues are just so strong.
Yeah, that I suppose I think I have to disagree just because of how weak some of the other stuff was. Also, sorry, I got distracted because there was a scratching at my door.
Oh, was there a cat?
There was a cat and there was a Cole.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
A Cole who picked up the cat, pushed open the door, and was like, "I'm recording," and closed the door. It's hilarious.
I think I heard the door, just barely.
I was like, you might have heard the cat. She was not happy to be
that's also
picked
possible.
up.
That's also possible.
But yes.
Anyway, so the Goblin flies away into the city to follow Spider-Man, and Spider-Man, Peter Parker, goes to visit Dr. Bromwell, who has been looking after Aunt May's tests after her bout of radiation, and Dr. Bromwell. Can
we also say we actually give the Doctor a name? Like I know he was named much earlier in like the second volume.
Yeah. But like,
it actually,
he's a proper character now as well. He has a name that is well established, and also it's because it's kind of a spoiler, I guess. Dr. Bromwell is in a lot of Spider-Man going forward. At the very least, he's in a ton of the next volume. Because,
that's fair, but like
because that Aunt May gets sick all the fucking time.
We actually like Ramita's art actually takes 5 seconds to put his name on his door.
Yeah,
whereas
small detail that Ditko would never do.
Yeah, it's just like because I was going to be honest. I was like, what's the Doctor's name again? Throughout, like it's like because I don't think they say it, and like
yeah. But yeah, no, we have Dr. Bromwell here who's looking after Peter, and while Peter's here, he delivers the news that Aunt May has been through so much lately that she cannot have any sudden shocks, otherwise she might fucking die.
which is pure soap opera. Also, Peter has a cold, so he's here to get like just a vitamin B12 shot and some antihistamines, and he'll be sent on his way. Like it's there.
But yeah, Aunt May can't be too shocked or she'll fucking die, which is just such a great plot point.
We move to page something integral happens on the 7th panel of page 5. Now, building up to this, Norman Osborn drops Harry off at school and is a total dick. Like, I am totally reading Willem Dafoe's voice in this as asshole Norman Osborn.
I mean, it's basically literally the scene between Harry and Norman in the first Raimi film when they're in the car together, and it's the same situation here.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then, on the 7th panel...
But Harry is clearly... put off by his dad being such a dick to him, and Peter has a thought bubble where he goes, "Never saw Osborn so quiet. Normally he'd have tossed a dozen insults my way by now." And he goes, "What's the matter, Harry? Anything wrong? Aren't you feeling well?" Like, just, oh my god, imagine, be still my fucking heart. Peter cares about someone that
Peter asks if someone is doing okay.
Oh my god, it's just, it's so nice.
My note is, Peter acts like a human being for the first time in this book.
Yeah, and there's still like that slight edge of Peter Parker cynicism where Harry talks to him, and then Peter thinks, "Wow, something must be really bugging him. He's almost acting human." But like, it reads this time as kind of like a playful jab in his head. Like it works. And his next thought bubble is the poor guy. No wonder Harry seems so bitter. Like Peter cares. Peter cares about someone, and it's just, oh my god, it's enough to take your breath away. It's amazing.
Peter then goes one step further because Harry's is like, my dad's been really distant lately after like years of us having a really good relationship, and I don't know what to do. Like, is it's I think it's because of bad business, but he's taking it out on me. And
yeah. And then Harry even apologizes. He says, "I should have sounded off the way you do, Parker. Forget about the whole thing, huh?" And Peter goes, "Sure, but sometimes it's good to get something off your chest." Like, and Gwen sees this, and Gwen thinks if Peter Parker becomes one of our crowd, it'll be just wonderful for me, which is funny in that '60s way, but also like
a little sexist, a little bit,
but like it is just, oh my god, it's characters being nice and being friends to each other, and it's just, oh my god, it's unfucking believable after 38 issues of Steve fucking Ditko. Oh my god.
And then we get our first Spider-Man fight of the issue, and Peter's quips are just quip like immediately. They start to quip like,
yeah, who's giving you your boxing lessons? Woody Allen? Like, it's good. It's really good. The action is really dynamic. Not that, to be fair, action was actually one of Ditko's strong points, but Romita's just as good, as sometimes better. Romita just nails some of these scenes. We have more guys going after Spider-Man. The quips are really good. It's a fun action sequence, and you can tell like throughout this fight that something more is happening. These guys are clearly meant to just wear down Spider-Man. The one guy throws like a little smoke grenade thing at him that was supposed to like take him down. The boss was supposed to do something to him, but we
eventually get revealed that by the Green Goblin who's watching this on his glider. Again, using this great perspective of he's way up in the air and no one can see him, but he's watching down in binoculars, like. It's dynamic, it's great, but it's like, this will weaken his Spidey sense. It's like,
I forgot actually. So talking about this in the Craven issue in close proximity actually made me realize something, that in the next volume, Lee and Romita are gonna retroactively make a stupid Ditko thing better, so, which is kind of funny. Sorry, unrelated to all this. We'll talk about it next time. Yeah. So Spider-Man finishes off these sort of henchmen, and then he begins growing weaker because of the smoke that he was hit with. And
he thinks, oh, it must just be my cold.
Yeah, and then what it's actually doing is it's weakening Peter's spider sense, and so he is not able to tell that the Goblin is continuing to follow him as he sneaks into an alley and changes his clothes. And so the Goblin finds out that Peter Parker is in fact Spider-Man. He doesn't know who Peter Parker is, but he now knows Spider-Man's identity.
I am honestly so glad that Stan Lee wasn't just like, he recognizes Peter Parker. It's like, no, he now knows what Spider-Man looks like, and Ben can find out who this guy is eventually.
Do you know my my Phantom Menace Last Jedi joke that I always make with my brother? It was this idea. Do you know who the character Darth Plagueis is in Star Wars?
Darth Plagueis the Wise, a tale not to be told by the... I have seen Revenge of the Sith more than once, and that is one of like the really good scenes in that movie.
So when the sequel trilogy was coming out, there was this prevailing theory among people that were still really obsessed with Legends that Supreme Leader Snoke, Andy Serkis's character, was actually Darth Plagueis, and essentially they had dreamed up this massive moment in their head where eventually Snoke said to Rey, "I am Darth Plagueis," and the kind of logical conclusion to that is everyone would go, yeah, sure. Like the fans would be like, oh yeah, sure, cool, Darth Plagueis, that's awesome. But everyone there in the scene would just look at that guy and go, who? Like, it wouldn't fucking matter to these characters in the story. Like that is this moment here. Like Lee actually realizes, like, yeah, no, sure, it's a big moment for us. Green Goblin finds out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, but Norman Osborn.
Well, it's a big moment for the Goblin, because the Goblin's like, I can now find who this guy is.
Yeah. But man, it Lee realizes that, and it works. We do also get something that the Romita era, or at least the earlier Romita era, would love to do, which is get to redraw Steve Ditko scenes and actually make them dynamic.
Because he redraws some panels from 37, and
it's good. It looks good. It looks really good. And then the Goblin follows Peter around. Peter goes into the Daily Bugle, has an actual conversation with Ned Leeds, and they actually apologize to each other over their spat over Betty Brant, and that's again just nice to see. Again, characters talking and apologizing and realizing they made mistakes, and just it's Ditko can never. He can never.
Peter also already says, "Hey, Ned, you don't have to worry about me as a romantic rival. Like, it's like, like I'm not interested in Betty." Which is, I've read a little bit of Volume 5, which is great for where the Peter-Betty relationship goes, because it's this, it's like, Peter Parker gets friends, guys. Peter Parker finally gets friends.
So nice, you have no idea. But yeah, and then, so Peter leaves the Bugle then, starts walking home.
Wait, also, just some of Jameson's dialogue. Jameson's dialogue is hilarious.
Oh, so funny. So funny. Sure, I'm all tanked up with the milk of human kindness is a great fucking line for J. Jonah Jameson to say.
While he is snatching the photos out of Peter's hand.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You'll realize very soon that Stan Lee loves that joke. He loves Jameson saying, "Oh yeah, I'm such a nice person to you." He's never gonna let that one go.
Here's the thing. It's a good joke. I don't care.
It's a good joke.
It can get tired. I don't care.
Anyway, so Peter is walking home. Then the Goblin reveals himself. He reveals that he knows that he is Spider-Man, and
you know what? This is drawn and colored like a horror movie, like a creepy, like a campy
good.
60s horror movie. Like,
do you know? Oh God, I think about I think about the Amazing Spider-Man movies far more than anyone has any right to. But I love a really good Goblin Peter standoff, no matter which version of the Goblin it is. And there's that one amazing Hans Zimmer track from the end of the Amazing Spider-Man 2, where that exact kind of situation happens, and that is just kind of the music that goes through my head during this scene. It's really good. I don't know if you remember it at all. It's. Have you seen Amazing 2 or?
I have seen it once.
Okay, all right, sorry. But yeah, oh my God, it's a great track. Anyway, but yeah, it's a scary moment. Peter is rightfully freaked out by this because this actually is a game-changing moment. This has actually never happened before in this entire book. Nobody has just casually figured out Spider-Man's identity, let alone a bad guy. And
let alone a bad guy. Let alone, let's be honest, the bad guy. Like,
yeah. This is like Lee has long been building up this character as like the big one. Like, I mean, Doc Ock very much has had more of a presence throughout the book, but like,
well, it's because Doc Ock is a character that Lee and Ditko clearly both cared about a lot, but the Green Goblin is the special guest star that comes in, let's say, halfway through the first season of television that the show then just becomes about. Like, yeah, this is the this character wasn't meant to be amazing. But he is, and
yeah. God, I just love that panel on the bottom of page 16 of the issue with that black smoke coming out of the glider and Peter getting choked in it. Like, it's so good, such a great.
And we get, I think this is a first for the book. This is a first for the book. Peter Parker doing a fight.
Yeah, as Peter Parker.
Peter.
Like, oh God, with the costume showing through his shirt there, like as the shirt comes open, like it looks so good.
Outside his house, where Aunt May might be looking out. Like,
God.
It's tense.
So there are great stakes to this fight as well, because Peter is worried about Aunt May seeing this and getting worried and literally dying from
shock,
which is still funny to say out loud. But
it's funny. It's funny. This is a let's do peak good soap opera drama and make it happen. Like, let me eat this up. I'm loving it. Like,
and so because Peter's senses are reduced and his powers are weakened, Goblin is able to defeat him and tie him up and take him away, and we get our big sort of end of issue page where Green Goblin monologues to Peter, who he has unmasked,
and Peter's just like, right, I gotta keep him talking, just let him keep talking, and I can then find a way out of this and survive and maybe die later because he knows who I am, but that's fine. We'll deal with that later.
And it's one of those things where like Peter Spider-Man, the character, has never really killed anyone aside from the guy that killed Uncle Ben. But like realistically, like Lee has never made Peter wrestle with the decision of like what happens when I'm put in this situation because it's never happened before. And so Peter doesn't quite have an answer to that. And there's that extra layer of worry added on to the tension of the end of this issue, leading up to this wonderful moment where we get that amazing line. Take a look, Parker. A good long look. It's the last face Spider-Man will ever see. It's the real face of the Green Goblin, the face of Norman Osborn.
And much like Norman learning Peter's identity, Peter has to be like, wait, who? Like, Harry's dead.
Yeah, like, he knows who Norman is.
It's just like, Harry's dad's a supervillain? What?
Which brings us into our final issue of today, The Amazing Spider-Man number 40, Spidey Saves the Day, the end of the Green Goblin. First off, one of my favorite Spider-Man covers ever.
John Romita's great. We should also say, a lot of this helps. We haven't mentioned him yet because this is the first time we have a primary inker on the book that isn't the penciler. Yeah. Mike Esposito, who is often credited in these books as Mickey DeMeo, inks these two issues. And then is going to be an inker for quite a bit of Volume 5, and based on the omnibus credits, quite a bit of this second Omni, anyways. You'll get some inkers coming in and out, and I think some pencilers coming in and out eventually, filling in when Romita like gets busy on another book and can't, and does some stuff. But like, this is just a great team. Like,
yeah, so good, so good.
Fantastic inks. A lot of the inks are specifically great.
Yeah,
Romita's great too. Don't get me wrong. But
yeah. And so we pick up issue number 40, where we left off. We get Norman is there's something is wrong with Norman, and he is kind of deranged by his by whatever has affected him to be the Green Goblin. And so Peter, through his inner monologue, sort of like realizes, oh yeah, just keep him talking. Like that's how I'm going to get out of this eventually. And so through Norman's monologuing, we get Norman's whole backstory with Harry, and it's kind of twofold. This is, of course, part of Peter's plan to keep him talking. It tells us a lot about who the character is, because of Ditko's rejection of Lee's plan for the Green Goblin as a character, we have to put a lot of backstory and a lot of character work into these couple pages here. And also, it tells us a lot about Harry as well, who we haven't had a lot of details on in the book up to this point. It's doing a lot of great character work within the context of a really tense situation here in the present. It's really good stuff.
Yeah, it's doing the great thing of like Harry, like Norman gave Harry a lot of presents as a kid, but Harry wanted, his dad to be there, like, and just talk and have a relationship. In a way, you could argue big business isn't helpful for human relationships.
Do tell.
It's almost like people, in the name of money and capitalism, sacrifice what really should be important, which is
space?
Again. Yes, also other people.
I realize we've referenced that fucking Tim Curry clip a great many times throughout the podcast.
Because isn't it from like an FMV game? Isn't it like...
Yes, because comics also talk about communism and capitalism a lot, and it's really funny. I think
what's so funny is that this is like this is middle of the Cold War, written by Stan Lee, who is far from even like left wing. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
It's also especially funny because Steve Ditko, being a follower of Ayn Rand, is a hard line 100% free market capitalist.
Yeah.
Like full Ben Shapiro, that sort of like, we need no regulation. But it's like, hey, distant dad who's in business, maybe capitalism isn't good. I'm not going to outright say it because I'm not making Stan Lee, I'm not connecting these dots, but immediately.
Yeah, like Lee doesn't realize that the lesson he's trying to teach Norman Osborn as a character is the lesson that he himself should learn, but it's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah. We go to Norman's backstory with Dr. Strom, who he screwed over on their sort of like scientific research, and said research eventually led Norman to getting some green chemicals blasted in his fucking face, and it made him a baddie. And now
it's basically oddly enough, I was like, yeah, I was kind of surprised with how much of the Sam Raimi backstory for the character is kind of there. The only thing that isn't there is really the military aspect of we need to try to do this as quickly, explicitly. Like it's kind of there with the Norman Osborn needs a breakthrough so business can be good, so he can make more money. It's just, not as connected to the military.
Yeah. But the point is, Norman is now a Goblin Man, and now he is here to kill Spider-Man, who Peter is slowly breaking out of his restraints in his chair, and then we do something.
I was going to say, then we do something really surprising.
Yeah, we
cut away.
I mean, Stan, of course, acknowledges it and goes, but even as the anguish, he's desperately continues to strain against his bonds, trying to shut out the Goblin's taunts. At a modest frame house in Forest Hills, we find, and then we just take a moment to check in on our other characters and see how Aunt May is worried about Peter because he's been out so long, and Anna Watson.
It's doing that storytelling thing of everybody close to Peter Parker somehow knows he's in danger. Aunt May knows. Though that's kind of hollow because she's always worrying about Peter. That is her one character trait. But it's okay. This time we love it because it's dramatic and at it's a really good way to enhance the tension here. It's used really well.
Totally. And so it's like we call it Jameson, and he doesn't know where Peter is. And then we cut over to Betty, who's at a train station and is
implied to be in Chicago, slowly on her way back.
Yeah, and is contemplating her life back with Peter and Ned and
there's a radio broadcast she overhears of Spider-Man's been missing for a few days. So Norman's captured this man for a few days. Oh, this is scary.
Which just kind of betrays the one line that Anna has to May, where she's like, even my Mary Jane will come home late occasionally. It's this isn't late. This is days, man.
This is days. It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah. We then, as we catch back up with the Goblin and Peter, first off, another great Stan Lee narration that I love. As you probably guessed by now, the pages you just read are a typical Marvel device for bringing new readers up to date as painlessly as possible. We just didn't want you to think you'd picked up a romance book by mistake, but now, face front, it'll be web spinning time before you know it. It's just...
I love this, because it's so clear that Stan Lee wants to write dramatic romance.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. I mean, that's where the dude started his career. It's great.
And he's from the little bit that I've read of Volume 5, he's very good at it.
Very good at it. He loves his sexual tension. But yeah, so we catch up with Goblin, who reveals his involvement in all of Peter's past exploits with involving the Goblin, including with the Enforcers and the Human Torch, and a number of actually really good issues of the past. Minus a particular Hulk appearance that you don't like, but whatever, that's on you.
It's not a good. It's not a
good Hulk appearance, but I like the issue as a whole.
Yeah. Okay,
it's funny. They trick Spider-Man into making a movie that's not really a movie. It's funny.
It's so weird.
I think they also fuck up the issues. By the way, they fuck up something. Is it where they try to say that it was number 14, or was that actually the first Goblin appearance? I want to say that was later.
I'm pretty sure 14 was the first Goblin appearance.
I remember noting that some issue call out was wrong, and it might have been either in this or in the next volume, because I've already reread the next volume and I can't think of where it was.
Yeah, no, it's not it's not 14. 14 is right. 17 is right.
23 should be right.
23 is right, so it must be
27. We already checked before, so yeah, it's probably in the next volume. It might be the Lizard story actually, where they fuck up the issue number.
Well, I haven't gotten to that story yet, so
yeah. Sorry. Anyway, back into it though. Spider-Man eventually breaks free of his bonds, and we have a fight between our hero and our.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Peter doesn't even break free. the Goblin sets him free because Peter has
yes.
psychologically gotten this guy monologuing enough where it's like, well, I'll prove that I am superior by setting you free so we can fight and I can kill you, Peter.
So good. But yeah, we have our fight between Spider-Man and the Green Goblin, and it is so good. It is so well earned. Romita crushes the art. The dialogue perfectly matches the pace of the fight. Like, it really works.
Sam Rosen gets to do some onomatopoeia, and because Stan Lee isn't fed up with his co-creators at this point, he doesn't even have to call it out. He just lets it happen.
Just lets it happen. It's really, really good. All culminating in, now you didn't know, I thought this was one of those like iconic Spider-Man moments that like everybody knows, but you didn't know how this story was going to end, actually.
No, I didn't. I was like, wait. Part of me was hoping like it would just end in a stalemate and like they'd have to fight next time and we'd have the tension going forward of the Goblin knows Peter's identity.
I see.
But instead
we get
in grand soap opera tradition,
of course,
amnesia plot.
Amnesia. Norman hits his fucking head so hard he forgets not only that he is the Green Goblin, he forgets who Spider-Man is, and decides to be a good dad, I guess. So,
and Norman's like, why am I wearing this strange costume? And Peter, I don't think if this was under Steve Ditko, Peter would make the decision to help Norman get to the fire department and as they're bursting in.
He changes him out of the Goblin costume and changes him back into Norman. And
burns the Goblin costume as well. So it's like, he can never go back.
It actually gives Norman like the second chance that he deserves with his amnesia. And turns him over to the fire department, returns home as Peter, obviously, is reminded of that Aunt May can't be too shocked by anything, or once again, I repeat, she will fucking die.
But also, like, let's be honest, Bromwell has a point. Like, dude, you left her alone, and she was worried sick for days. What were you thinking, man? Like,
yeah, that's fair. But yeah, Aunt May ends the issue looking after Peter, and Harry ends the issue looking after Norman. And that is where our issue and our coverage today ends. And we'll pick back up there in the next episode with Volume 5.
Such a good ending. It is such a good ending.
So good. Oh my God. What a great 2 issues. But how about the volume as a whole, Jacob?
So the first 3 issues are okay. They're decent.
Mm-hmm.
The Kraven issue is also fine. But then it nosedives. Steve Ditko writes the same plot. He decides Peter needs to be the absolute worst, and we can't deviate from Peter Parker being an asshole because that would mean Steve Ditko would have to self-reflect a little bit on himself.
Mm-hmm. That's not going to happen.
Again, Peter Parker essentially starts to embody a Randian hero of I'm only doing this for myself. Fuck everybody else. And it becomes a problem that quite literally I finished 38 and it was late. It was a little bit late at night. I'm like, I can't keep going. Like, I just need to take a break. And I took like a whole day just because I was like, I am so tired of this. I know there's a new team coming. I'm sure it'll be different. And then immediately it switches.
Yeah. And everything just kind of clicks into place. Like,
it clicks. What I do when I read these books for the podcast, I track basically what I read on Goodreads. So I've been tracking the omnibus on Goodreads since we started.
Jesus.
And a lot of people give the Omni 5 stars, a classic piece of comics history, and I'm like, and you can't do half-star ratings on Goodreads, so it's just stars 1 through 5. So I'm like, well, the entire thing is middle of the road. Like, the Ditko run as a whole, it peaks in volume 2.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, and while I guess those Goodreads readers are not wrong in that it is comics history, they are wrong in that it's 5 stars. I mean, God, it is a damn struggle sometimes.
It is dense. I mean, and I think a lot of that is just Stan Lee trying to keep his readers engaged in the latter half.
And you can't really blame the guy because he knows that they're not getting anything else, really.
And let's be honest, Stan Lee can have some dumb plots. A lot of the first couple issues of Spider-Man plots are a bit silly and dumb, and they don't feel quite right, but they don't feel mean-spirited. Yeah. Ditko's plots feel really mean-spirited.
Yeah, big time.
And just immediately things shift. Like we said, page 5 of issue 39, it's Peter's allowed to be a person, guys.
Yeah.
He's allowed to be a person and not hate everything around him, and it works. And I'm so excited for volume 5. I've read the first 3 issues. I will have thoughts on those next time. So excited to continue. Kind of a shame that that volume 5 will be our only other Spider-Man episode this block, obviously, because we're not gonna repeat for our first 15 Marvel block. There's so much of the Marvel universe we have not even touched yet, and I'm excited for that too. But
yeah, so many fun new things in store going forward with this block that I'm just incredibly excited to talk about. But of course we have more Spider-Man next time. Obviously we're doing volume 5, and I'm so excited to talk about the Ramita stuff with you. But I will say also for this particular volume, we had a little thing we did for it. We did some adapted material, and we tried to find a Spider-Man movie that's the most relevant to the things we're covering. And we figured because it's the first appearances of Gwen Stacy throughout this volume, it might be worth covering something that heavily features Gwen Stacy in the form of the Amazing Spider-Man 1. It's the first Amazing Spider-Man movie, which I believe you had seen before, correct?
Here's the thing. The only Spider-Man movies I hadn't seen before the podcast are the Holland ones, surprisingly. Just because they started coming out right after high school, and I wasn't keeping up as much with the MCU. I was mainly only in it for then Infinity War and Endgame, and then I dropped off, basically.
Tale as old as time.
Tale as old as time. But I did rewatch The Amazing Spider-Man, and it's solid. It's good.
Dude, I love it.
I have some problems with it. I think here's the thing: Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone,
so good.
Perfect chemistry, perfect fucking chemistry. There are things.
Do you know the story about Amy Pascal with Tom Holland and Zendaya?
Oh no, what?
Basically, so do you know that Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone actually dated for a while after the Amazing
Did they really?
They did, yeah, they dated for a while because obviously chemistry off the fucking charts. That when they cast Tom Holland and Zendaya for the MCU, Amy Pascal sat them down and was like, "Don't fucking date, please, for the love of God, don't date, please." And so, of course, here we are now against the mighty Amy Pascal's wishes, and it's just incredibly funny. I love that story.
Spider-Man. There are definitely points in the climax where I think it really wants to be one of the Raimi movies, and
I kind of feel that. I do like the way the film does the Lizard a lot, though. I think
I like the Lizard. I like a lot of Risa Fons as the Lizard. I think it just kind of that plot is sadly the weaker element to the, oddly enough, really touching teenage romance. It's really touching.
It is.
That's when the film is best.
Yeah. Oh, how good is Sally Field as Aunt May?
Sally Field is quite good.
She's off the fucking charts. I love her. She's awesome.
It has one of the best Stan Lee cameos. Honestly, I'm like,
yes. Yes.
Mark Webb actually does have style when he can.
Do you remember the Stan Lee cameo in Amazing 2?
I don't. I'm sorry. I have not seen that film in a decade.
I'll just say it now because it'll be a long time before you rewatch it. It's basically at Peter's graduation, and it's Stan Lee in the audience, and he sees Peter being late to his graduation. He's still wearing the Spider-Man mask, but in the cap and gown, and he's running up there, and Stan Lee sees him with the mask still on. He's like, "Hey, I think I know that guy."
Okay, that's funny.
It's so good. Although realistically, one of my favorite, I think meta Stan Lee cameo. Do you remember his in Rise of the Silver Surfer? It's the only really good thing about that film.
Okay, so I've only seen that film once, and that was in theaters. So I was like,
So
when did that come out?
2007.
I was 7.
So it's the wedding of Reed Richards and Sue Storm, and Stan Lee's being rejected from entering the wedding, and he's like, "No, I'm on the list. I'm Stan Lee." It's so good. It's so good.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah. But yeah, I think Amazing Spider-Man. It's solid.
I love it.
I think it's actually solid. I think there are a couple of signposts of what's going to be the problem to come with Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Another film I love.
That's one where I just think you're actively wrong on it, Joey.
That's amazing. Oh, it's so good. It's such a good film.
But we'll talk about that when we talk about the death of Gwen Stacy.
Which obviously we are a ways away from. But
I
would say I'm not going to spoil what film I chose for us to watch next time for adapted material. But my God, I just had a stupid idea. I was looking through our next volume and I was like, there's not really like a specific thing to call out here, like things that were adapted into films. And so I suggested something to you, and I cannot wait to bring it up next time. Keep an eye on Jacob's Letterboxd.
Keep an eye on my Letterboxd.
It's gonna be so funny.
I'll probably
yeah, it's gonna be funny. Anyway, I think that actually does it now, though. Unless you had any final comments for today's episode.
Just I read better Spider-Man.
Just read the last 2 issues.
Read the last 2 issues.
All right, let's do some promotions. Jacob, what do you have going on here?
I mainly have my blog. I have recently, last week, put out a review on Brandon Sanderson's Isles of the Emberdark, because Brandon Sanderson keeps doing these secret projects. Like, he doesn't stop. And I'm like, my guy, Brandon, how? You can't just go on vacation. Don't write a 6th secret novel that you're going to get published. I enjoyed that. I've also been reviewing Star Trek: The Next Generation for the first time. Now, I am a week ahead of the channel, so I will have just reviewed Q-Who, the first appearance of the Borg.
Indeed. Yeah. That's cool. Likewise, on the main channel, me and my brother Jacob, we also named Jacob, not this Jacob, we review Star Trek Week to Week. Recently, our video on the channel for Pen Pals came out, but if you join the Blood Donut Studios Patreon at either the Ensign or the Lieutenant tier, you can get our early review for Q-Who as well, matching up with Jacob's blog reviews. So yeah, it's a great episode. It's an iconic episode of Star Trek for a reason. You should check out our review of it. It was a great time.
I hope I agree with that sentiment. I haven't watched it yet.
Well, I just mean, like, in general, like, it is an iconic episode of Star Trek for a reason. But yeah, so yeah, check that out. Also on the channel, we have R2BD. Me and my brother, we've been doing Star Wars things. I think at the time of this coming out, very soon, we have an episode coming up on Dawn of the Jedi Into the Void by Tim Levin, which also I enjoyed fine enough, but I found out that there's a tie-in comic series. Sorry, there's a comic series that the book is technically a tie-in to, called Dawn of the Jedi, all written by John Ostrander, that I am now desperate.
Wait, what?
Yes, I'm now desperate to read it, and I'm getting the omnibus soon. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that soon. But after that, we otherwise on our TVD we're covering Star Wars by Jason Aaron, more of that, and more Darth Vader by Kieran Gillen. So all kinds of fun things coming up there. Also check out the spinoff of this podcast, Fresh Face One Shots, where we cover current comics coming out, such as Superman by Joshua Williamson, Wonder Woman by Tom King, Trinity, Daughter of Wonder Woman, the spinoff of Wonder Woman, also written by Tom King, Batman: The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, The End of the Long Halloween Saga, as well as The Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone, while it still exists, at which point we'll be jumping into The Unbreakable X-Men.
We will also be covering later this fall, I'm not sure when it starts releasing, DCKO.
Oh yeah, we're going to cover DCKO. Yeah, I think it's in October. So yeah, that'll be.
I think it's October.
That'll be around then.
Things are coming up.
The comic event of October, I'm actually looking forward to.
Honestly, like, I know I said in 100 episodes I don't love heroes fighting heroes, but I also do love a tournament arc, and I'm like,
exactly, it's gonna be fun. And also, you should like heroes fighting heroes because it's the fun gimmick. But check all those out. If you enjoy this podcast and you enjoy things we do on Blood and Studios, consider joining the Patreon. As I mentioned before, there's the $1, $2, and $5 tier. You can get all kinds of fun things, such as early Star Trek reviews, Star Trek commentaries, Fresh Face Extras, just more of this podcast where I talk about burying cats, apparently. And you could also get your name in the description of every Blood Donut video that we put out on the channel. Speaking of the channel, you can go to Blood Donut Studios on YouTube. You can subscribe to the channel there. Any and all support is greatly appreciated. And hey, if you're not supporting any of those things, I don't know, just drop us a like wherever you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, etc. Wherever you're listening to us, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening to us. If you comment on things, if you comment on YouTube, on Spotify, anywhere that you're listening to us, we will read out your comments, as we obviously did earlier this episode on Fresh Face Correspondence. Otherwise, our link trees will be down below. You can follow us if you want to follow us. Again, like I said, I've been to TikTok recently. I don't know how that's going to go, but that's there. But I guess that's about it. So thank you all so much for listening. Until next time, this has been Joey Morgan.
And Jacob Licklider.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.